court. Every glance says less than more. New husband, short honeymoon. Whispers blooming way too soon. Phones light up at 2 a.m. Promises written, erase a man. She says it was a movie scene, but the script was way too clean. Every word began to drip when detectives hit record and hit play. Text messages and red flags, love letters turning into body bags. She says it was all pretend, but pretend don't pay a hitman. Lipstick lies and camera lights. Reality TV meets real life night. Say it once, say it twice. Truth don't bend when the tapes play nice. Undercover with a wire tight, listening quiet, letting her talk all night. Is he dead? Slips out too fast. Future plans while the present cracks. She flips the switch, she plays a role. Victim voice, then full control. Tears on cue, mascara rain, but the timeline won't explain. Rehearse shock, a practice gas. Hands too steady, answers fast. Every version slightly shifts while the jury reads between the script. Text messages and red flags, smiling while she does the math. She says it was all pretend, but pretend don't hire a friend. Gold hoop skills and courtroom sound. Every line leaves fingerprints around. Say it once, say it twice. Truth don't blink under cross-exam lights.
Hello, happy Tuesday, everyone. How are you?
Hello.
Hello. Wow.
Hello.
Oh. Hello. Oh, I would get a text message right when we start, of course. Why not?
Yay.
I don't think it's for me, though. All right, it's not for me. Okay. Family group, you know. Nobody wanted to talk to me. It's fine. What's up, Puddletown? Vito, Dippolito, Desposito, Incognito, and Raccoon Eyes. Oh, and
Raccoon
hi,
Eyes.
AJ.
Was crazy.
She was nuts. I rewatched that part today, and I was laughing. I was laughing at us laughing.
Oh my, wow, when you started to go like back and then forward again, like her facial expressions were just priceless. Like priceless.
They were awesome. I was laughing. I'm like, this made my whole day again.
Just like whenever you need your day made, just go back and watch that one part.
Absolutely. I was like, this is awesome.
God. Yeah, that was great.
Oh, Heidel, no YouTube Ass Hattery on your birthday. And happy birthday. And I didn't tell you in Discord because I planned to tell you here. Even though I know Bobby will be like, I forgot. I didn't forget. It's even on my calendar.
Happy birthday.
So, like Gabby said, happy birthday, Heidel. What's up, Flash Fan? And Gabby says Merry Christmas. I will say Happy New Year. What's up, Bobby? It's old Brack, whatever his name is. Hilarious. I love it. I love it. Yes, you are, Haley Mouse. Congratulations for being here from the beginning. And Bad Dazzer. Hello, sir.
Hi, Dazzer.
It's Titty Tuesday.
Is it?
Maybe at your
Oh,
house.
wait, is it even Tuesday? I don't even know.
I know. I always have to like stop and think. I'm always like, happy whatever day it is. I don't know. Ever.
Yeah.
Like, what did I do today? That tells me what day it is generally. And if I'm off, then I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's how mine is.
That's why there's something called Do Not Disturb. Yeah, nope.
We don't have the luxury of that. Flash fan, thank you.
I tried that when like it first came out. I'm like, I can't sleep. What if they need me? What I just do my hair? Like I was just like, this is horrible. I can't do this. I turned it off and I've never used it again. I just have my phone on silent, but
Yeah.
some texts, some like like yours and mine and Carmen's, that's just set to silent because I know you two
Yeah.
generally will like talk in the middle of the night. And so
Yeah.
I'll wake up in the morning and be like, oh, look, what's going on? I don't know. Did everything
She'll
blow
just
up?
go. I was like, AJ will read it in the morning. She'll see it. That's the point.
Like, well, the world's still here. All right, I'll read this. What's up, Snipe? Hello, everyone else.
Yeah, you look out your window. You're like, is anything on fire? Okay, I can read
Like,
this.
no, no, okay, all right. Madame Panini Pencilrini.
What? What? Why?
He said something. He said something similar yesterday.
Madame Benini Pencilrini. Oh God, that's hilarious. I know, right? Why not? I mean, that's just great. I love it.
Uh, can we start fires? Uh, figuratively speaking, that's all.
No,
Nah.
it's illegal to start fires.
No.
AJ does not condone starting fires.
Yeah, no, but just those ones. I try. I try. Generally fail, but I do try. Although I was laughing today because at my dad's house, I have a dark blue pencil like this, and the lead came out, and I was like, "You get back in there." And I was like, "Oh, that's funny," and nobody else is here to enjoy it but me. I'm the only one in this house that'll get this, but okay. I still thought it was funny.
Then we could have all laughed with you.
I know. Gabby,
That's true.
you can't start fires because you're buried under frozen water.
That's true. That's
I
true.
mean,
No, my whole
no.
body hurts. I had to take like
I
4
told you.
Advil before I went to bed, and then like we woke up and we had to like redo the front of it because of the plows in the middle of the night going by.
Of
Ugh.
course.
And then we helped our neighbors like do their mailboxes, so it was a lot.
I did not do that in front of my dad. No. He was doing something else, and that's damn straight, Haley. That's right. Geez, AJ, one day it's taking pot, now it's saying start fires. I did not say to start a fire. I did not say I was starting fires. I said, is the world on fire? When I wake up and I have 41 unread text messages, I'm like, well, shit, what happened? It will. Day 3 is like the worst. I remember my mom telling me that after I had my daughter and I was out like day 2. I was, I don't know what I was doing. I was like in and out of the house, running in and out of the house. And she's like, "You're gonna regret this tomorrow." I was like, "But I feel good." And she's like, "You won't tomorrow." And she was correct. I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, why did I do so much yesterday? Because I felt good. Now I feel
Oh
like
yeah,
crap."
it's hurting now. I mean,
Yeah, it's
I'm
going to be
hurting
bad
now.
tomorrow.
Oh, for sure. But it's the way it goes.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad tomorrow. I will send you my sympathy
I'll be
early.
all right.
Can you launch the pencil yet?
She just holds the pencil in one hand and just like flings her other hand at the end of the where the eraser is, and she's like, and it's like ping across the room.
Hey, aches and pains get young people too.
Hey, you know what, Flash fan? You're halfway there. I wouldn't be, saying
You're
anything now.
and you just got another year closer last month, so
I don't want to hear next year. Oh, my back hurts. I'm like, I
oh,
told you.
Flash man, wait till you hit 30. Just wait.
Oh,
Just
oof.
wait. The
30 is
day you hit
when you're
30,
feeling
you're
it.
gonna go to get out of bed and your feet are gonna hit the floor and you're gonna be like, ouch.
Yeah.
Why does this hurt so much?
You're gonna
You're
bend over to
30.
pick something up, and you're gonna like remove a disc from your back, and it's gonna end up in your ankle, and you're gonna be like, "How the hell did that happen? I can't even walk now."
You're 30. That's just it.
Welcome to your
Just
30s.
yes, just remember this day, Flash fan, in 4 years. Remember this day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Heidel, if you were not here earlier, we said happy birthday to you. So
We did.
I don't know if you heard or not, but I hope you've had a great day. Yeah, it is like right on the dot. It absolutely. Both of my kids can tell you. Like, insane. No, I'm not.
Neither
That's
did
why I'm
I.
active. I don't send. Okay.
Okay, neither did I. Good sir.
Carm,
Excuse
Carmen,
me.
Carmen is up walking for 12 hours a night, and Bree, she works a 12-hour shift, walking. Trust me, my son is like he's active. It hurts. It hurts to get old. It hurts. Oops. Thank you. I'm only 35 and my
Yeah,
kneecap makes crunchy noises.
35. Mine started when I was 27.
Oh, goodness gracious. I think I still felt okay at 30, but 40 and
Wow.
on has sucked.
So, I'm about to be 40 this year. Something popped the other day. I didn't know that could pop. And I I felt like I had like what's that word? Like an epiphany. Like I was like, oh my God, what happened? What popped? Wow, I can see things better. What happened?
Sorry.
It
Yeah,
was yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm like,
My
did I
niece.
need that? Whatever that was, did I need it? Was it
Yeah.
essential for me living right now? I felt like it exploded for a second. What happened?
It's like, what was that bright light?
Yeah.
Like so much pain.
All of a sudden you just see a white light. You're like, oh, and then you shake your head and you're like, oh, I'm still here.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I'm here. I'm live. Pinch yourself. Okay, that still hurts. Okay, all right, we're good. Well, Haley, dang girl, my niece started playing up at 11. Yikes. Well, now
Well,
that they should be done. They
you
should
guys
be
got
done.
bad knees over there in England at 11 years old. What are you guys doing over there at 11 years old in
Don't.
England? Never mind. Don't answer that.
It was all
Nobody.
the pressure in your head being released, Gabby.
Maybe.
Oh,
Hypermobility is fun. Yeah, I have that.
yeah. What is with it? I've never even heard the word
Oh
until
my God.
Madison.
Yeah, no. I can like
I
move my kneecaps all around. My doctor saw me do it. He was like, "What the heck?" My
what the
thumb can go
heck?
back far too. It's crazy.
I'm gonna have to take a picture of Madison's if I can do it because she's generally I'm holding her when she goes to sleep. So when she puts her thumb up,
Mm,
um, I'm telling you, like
it goes all the way down. Yeah.
I can't explain what it does. It like bends. Like you can't
Yeah,
see it
just
anymore, but you can still
buggy.
see this joint.
Yep.
I mean, it is so weird.
Go gadget daddy.
Yes, that is correct. And when we were born, they called the loose joints and did nothing to help us with it. My son is paying that price now because he could like put his, like do this, but then bring his arms all the way around without letting go.
Mm,
And his shoulders. I didn't know it was bad for him to do that. Like it was just like, hey, look at me, I'm flexible. Good for you.
yeah.
Now his shoulders are screwed up.
Yep. I'm super
Like
flexible too, like that. It's crazy.
it's like I'm sorry, I didn't know. I didn't have Google.
There
I
was no
don't know how we
Google back
survived.
then.
Yeah, there was no time. The one time I try to be serious, it's missed.
Where?
When were you serious?
Apparently we missed it.
This one?
I don't see anything.
We commented on that.
Yeah, we did.
I
I don't see
haven't.
anything else.
Is there anything else?
I'm not seeing anything else on my phone.
Hmm.
Nope. It was that one about the computer, and then the next one is him saying the one time he was being serious, it was missed. I don't see anything else.
I don't know, Flashman. It's all good. Okay.
All right.
He got YouTubed. He probably did get YouTubed.
Maybe.
It's
Yeah,
been
because
a picky little thing all week, for
yeah,
all month, all year.
happened to me a bunch yesterday and the day before.
I couldn't get anything to go through yesterday. It's ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. But if I typed, "Hey Jess," and nothing, it's like, no,
Yeah.
X. But if I would have typed like "F off, Jess," it would have been like, "Here you go."
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, it would have been just
YouTube was like,
fine.
"Oh, you want to say hi to Jess? Well, F you. We're not doing that today. Not today,
Oh
AJ."
no, no, no. Like, no. Squid couldn't ask for likes?
That is weird.
Good grief.
Yeah. YouTube is just crazy.
That's insane. Well,
That's why most
speaking
of the
of,
time when it pops up in chat and I have the option of like approving it or not, I usually just approve it because I know how it kind of sucks. You're trying to say something, YouTube won't let it through. If YouTube won't let it through, it doesn't show up on here for us to
correct.
approve it. We can't
Yep.
see that. They just don't let it through.
Yeah, and that's where mine were. I I hate when I just get a big red X. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really? What
Yep.
did I say? What did I say?
Hi, Jess. That's what you said. That was
I said,
enough
"Hey
for
Jess."
YouTube.
That was it. I said there was quite a few things I said one day. I just gave up. I'm like, I can't. This is ridiculous. Like,
Mm.
I'm trying to say nice things, and YouTube's like, no, no,
Yeah, I'm
spam.
trying to like use like emojis instead of certain words to see if that goes through too.
I mean, it's
Like,
just crazy. So
yep.
if it doesn't come through to where it can get approved, we don't see it. But I don't know. Hopefully they'll like fix it or something. But I doubt it. But anyway, speaking of other things that can't be fixed, we are gonna really try to get this trial wrapped up either by Thursday or Monday at the latest. Um, we're just depends on how much we get done today. If we can get um, all the our closing arguments done today, then we'll finish this up on Thursday. If we can't get through all the closing arguments today, we'll finish up on Monday. So you see it now. I see, so you see it now.
That's what I see too.
That's all I see.
And the last thing you said that I see is you saying it's all good.
Yep.
There's nothing else in between that. Flashman does not have dementia.
That's horrible. See, I don't know what's happening. I mean, I'm
Send
glad
it
it's
to
not,
me in Discord. Send it to me in
yeah,
Discord.
I, I'm glad it's not just me, but I hate that it's happening to anybody.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks because you're like just trying to have a regular conversation. Regular things just won't go through.
Yeah, I
Happens to
mean,
me all.
just dumb, just ridiculous things. Oh, wait, but I'm demented. Different. Oh, Bobby. My name is not Ted. All right. Did,
See, that
wow,
went through.
snipe.
That's what I'm saying. You swear YouTube lets it through. It. I said the most vilest things the other day, and it went through. And I was just like trying to like say something to Haley, like a regular thing, and it wouldn't go through. I was like, of course, it let all my swears through.
Don't add that. Okay. Sorry.
Don't add what? My name is not Ted, or he's
I don't know.
Ted.
I'm demented. Different. My name is not Ted. Don't add that. All right.
Oh,
I get. I don't know.
at this
Eh,
point, Bobby's name is just going to be a whole alphabet.
yes, it is. Because then I think I saw earlier today. Didn't I
Yeah,
see that it's Wayne
it's
too?
something. I was just
Hmm.
like, you know what? I'm just gonna continue to call him BDB, and the rest of the letters are just gonna be implied, but they're gonna be silent letters.
All right, Flashman sent you something,
Okay, let me see. Let me see what he says.
and then Puddletown. Wow, Puddletown's came right on through. Apparently, you put the F word in there, and bing, there it is. Yay, YouTube has come over to the dark side.
Oh, do you want me to read this out loud, Flashman? Because I will.
See, I just sweared and it didn't go through. I don't know. I don't know, Bobby.
Oh yeah, that's fine to read out loud, I think. He said, in all seriousness, you gotta run and stay active so you can walk easier in old age. So I've heard. Yes, I always tell my grandma this. This is what I say to her because she's a hard woman and she says, blah, 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 blah. She gives you a hard time. And I always say, use it or lose it, lady.
That is true.
And you got to, you know?
And trust me, as somebody who's old, you think you'll be like, I'll be fine, I got time.
No, no, no.
And
It
one
does.
day
It's,
you wake up
yep,
and you realize that you're going to do things now
yep,
that you're not going to have time to see through. Because
yep,
like there's certain like maybe if you plant a tree, you're like, I won't see this thing grow.
yep,
It's sad.
yep, yep, for sure.
I mean, when you hit that moment, it's like, that's sad. I've hit that time in my life. What's up, Katie? How are you doing?
Okay,
We're
Bobby, I'll
talking.
save that. I'll save that best comment for. I'm gonna save it.
Okay, I saw something pop up there.
It is pretty good.
All right, I didn't see it. I mean, I saw him saying something about best comment, but I didn't see it. I didn't see anything pop up. Just so you know, get your mind out of the gutter. Oh, you're having your
Oh, hey, Katie.
angiogram tomorrow, Puddletown? Yeah,
Be right
bike
back.
riding is easier on your joints or the elliptical. Let's see if this goes through. Definitely. It does. I can't, not that I can't say the word, not that I haven't said the word, but if I said it all the times that you guys said it today, I'd say it a lot. I'm afraid I'd get in trouble. I don't know. Okay, so let's get into this is the state's first part of their closing. Like I said yesterday, it's just about 36 minutes long, give or take. It's the attorney we haven't heard from all that much. And then the defense closing, which is dumb. I know I didn't play for you guys yesterday. The judge was limiting them to 2 hours. And the defense, maybe I just haven't learned him, like, gotten to know him as well through this trial or whatever. I think the judge offered him an hour, and he's like, Judge, I won't even be able to get started in an hour. And he doesn't even go for 40 minutes. So maybe I just didn't pick up on his sarcasm, but I should be able to speed him up because it's him. And he talks slow. But other than that, we have her. So you guys talk about your bendy joints and listen up to, I don't know her name. She's from the state. Oh, Flashman, I can't do those. Nope. Those long closings suck.
Doing whatever and anything it takes to get exactly what she wants. Now, Dalia Dippolito liked a certain lifestyle. She liked money, she liked nice jewelry, she liked nice cars, and she liked men to shower her with attention and gifts. Without a second thought, and with a simple snap of her finger, she seems to be able to control any man she wants to. Defendant in this case is charged with solicitation to commit first-degree murder. To prove the crime of solicitation, the state has to prove two elements to you, as the judge just read to you. Again, I'll go over them again. Dalia Dippolito. I have to prove Dalia Dippolito solicited Whitty Jean to commit first-degree murder. And that two, during that solicitation, Dalia Dippolito commanded, encouraged, hired, or requested Whitty Jean to engage in specific conduct, which would constitute the commission of first-degree murder, or an attempt to commit first-degree murder. Now, again, to solicit means to ask earnestly or try to induce the person to commit this crime. It's not necessary to prove for the defendant to do any act in furtherance of the offense that she's trying to solicit. Let's look at the facts of this case. You heard that on July 31st, 2009 is when the solicitation started. On that day, the defendant, Dalia Dippolito, met with Mohammed Shihada. This is when she first talked to him about killing her husband. He told her no, not doing it. Now, he told you they were at a store. She was in his car. He went into that store. He came out of the store, and he does what he always does. He checks, I believe he said, his wallet and his gun. And he looked in his glove box. Gun wasn't there. He asked her, "Where's my gun? What'd you do with it?" "I didn't take it." Finally, she pulls it out of her purse and gives it back to him. Now, Mohammed Shihada testified that it was at that point in time that he knew she was serious. She wanted to kill her husband. She wasn't joking. So Mohammed, the man who's known the defendant for 10 years, felt he had an obligation. He needed to contact the police. He needed to make sure somebody didn't die. So you heard that he got in contact with Detective Ace Brown at the Boynton Beach Police Department. And he went in, he spoke with Detective Brown, he spoke with Sergeant Ramsey, he spoke with Sergeant Sheridan, multiple different police officers and detectives. And he told them time and time again, the same consistent story. Because they told you, at first we weren't sure. But it all added up. So at that point, they signed him up to become a confidential informant. Now, shortly after this, leading on to August 1st, Mohammed made several controlled phone calls to the defendant. And these recordings you've heard, they're in evidence. Go back, listen to them again if you want to. And there was an arrangement set up for them to meet at the mobile gas station at Gateway and High Ridge Road, right by 95. And during this meeting, which was caught on video, and you saw on video, the defendant and Mohammed talk about the solicitation. They talk about the hitman. Mohammed has her thinking that he has a buddy, obviously an undercover police officer that she doesn't quite know, but he is a friend of a friend who can do this. So they talk about this hitman, how this is all he does. He's former military. He's really good at what he does. In fact, he even says he's an illegal. He has nothing to lose. And he says he's not going to want anything to do with you after this is over. That video is clear. The defendant is talking about murdering her husband. Let's take a look.
Okay, after he kills him, whatever, your mom and all of them are not gonna, like, his mom is not gonna get suspicious of you or anything like that?
Why me? Like, do you know what fucking
Didn't you
killing
say
somebody
that?
is? Yeah, but killing somebody, come on. I mean, that's fucking, you know, nobody's gonna be able to point a finger at me.
Someone. She says it. Comes out of her mouth. Now, during this meeting, they also talk about where it could happen, different places. And Mohammed tells her the hitman will know all that best. He's the one to figure all that out. The defendant talks about her husband's schedule, when he's home, walking the dogs, the things that he does. Why? Because she's serious about this. Now, during this video, you also see evidence of her intent. She's attempting to create an alibi.
But yeah, everyone's gonna think it's related to that fucking bullshit because I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna say, you know, like, bullshit. I'm just gonna tell them, like, these guys went in, like, he's been bumping into guys. I'm gonna tell them about the guy at Target that we ran into, the weird guy that lives in our fucking neighborhood too, that's on fucking probation for something else. I'm gonna throw all their fucking names in it. I don't care.
She talks to him about where she can go, what she can be doing while this is going on. She says, I'm not going to leave town because I never go anywhere. That would be too obvious. If I leave town, they're going to say, oh, what a coincidence. You leave and this happens. She says, I'll go down to Boca. I'll get my hair done. I'll find something else to do. Ask yourself this. Why does a person need to create an alibi if they don't intend for this crime to be carried out? She simply is trying to cover her tracks. Now, you also saw in that video that the defendant gave pictures to Muhammad. She went through a list of pictures. She gave these pictures as she was told, bring money, bring pictures, so the hitman can know who the intended target is. You see her in the car going through the pictures. She offers a picture of Mike Dippolito's Porsche. She says, no, we don't need that. One picture even has her grandfather. She says, can't you just effing cut him up? Somebody who's got remorse? I don't think so. After she gives Muhammad these pictures, there's even more evidence of her intent to hide her identity in connection with this crime.
Why am I fucking print off those fucking pictures? Really? You're gonna give him something with my fucking fingerprints all over?
Now, as you watch more of this meeting, more of this video, you see the defendant's solidified commitment to having the murder of her husband carried out. She asked Muhammad if he's sure. Is everything okay? This is really going to happen. She wants to make sure this is a solid deal. Why? Because murder is exactly what she wanted to have happen.
You're sure everything else is okay?
Yeah.
You're sure?
Yo, what more sure do you want? You're planning a murder. Come on, stop.
I don't want to feel like a nigger either. I'm fucking giving him, you know what I mean?
No.
Whatever.
As this meeting ends, you get to see something. You get to see the cold, calculated killer that Dalia Dippolito is. She gets out of that vehicle. She looks at Muhammad Shihada after she just talked about murdering her husband. And she says, hey, smile, like it's a sunny day in the park.
Okay. Will you smile?
No, it's not easy to smile about, yo. It's not easy to smile about.
It's fine. You haven't smiled
No.
forever.
Now, after this meeting, you've heard several other control calls between Muhammad Shihada and the defendant. And then on August 3rd of 2009, you heard a call between the undercover agent, Officer Woody John, and the defendant. He asked her for $3,000 and a key to her house. She tells him okay. He says he's on his way to meet her. Okay. She hangs up the phone and she immediately calls Muhammad Shihada. She complains. The hitman asked her for more money. He wants a key to her house. Why would he want a key to my house, she says. She wants to pay him when the job is done. Now, why is she worried about a hitman having a key to her house? Because she thinks this is really going to happen. Her intent is for this hitman to kill her husband. And she thinks she could get robbed in the process. Now, later on August 3rd of 2009, you see the defendant meeting with Officer Woody John in the CVS parking lot. You've seen a video of this as well. Again, go back and watch it if you want to do that. Officer John came in here and he testified to you that the defendant in the car appeared nervous. He said she was looking around. Anytime someone would walk by the car, another car would drive by. And you see her in the video, constantly looking around. Why? Why was she so nervous? Because she knew this was real. She's cautious. She's creating an alibi. She wants to wipe her prints off. She wants to have some place to be. She wants to make sure nobody sees her. She's cautious of everything that's going on around her. Now she talks to him. She goes through what her house is like, the setup of her house. She points out, they're over there. You go down this road, you go this way. Point them all the directions. She said, we have an alarm system. We have motion detectors. We have cameras. They talk about the company that monitors these things. Again, this is more evidence of Dalia Dippolito wanting to commit this crime, wanting to make sure the hitman doesn't get caught, wanting to make sure that everything goes as planned. So when she comes back home that day, she finds her dead husband. She asks Woody John, how soon can you get this done? She's impatient. She wants him dead, and she wants him dead in a few days. She says she needs it done this week. Now, the firearm. They talk about a gun. They talk about the money. And he tells her, well, the $1,200 you already gave me, that went to buying my heat, my gun. There's no mistaking this was done with a firearm. She at no point says, no, I don't want a gun. Just okay. He then tells her it's going to be 2 to the head. I'm going to make it look like a robbery gone bad. I'm going to go in, I'll kill him, I'll break some windows, take a couple things, so it looks like I came in, middle of the day, thought people were at work, robbery gone bad. 2 to the head. She doesn't even flinch. She has no remorse at all. During their conversation, she offers up the idea of Boca Raton. She says, well, Wednesday morning, my husband is going to go to the bank. It's the bank at Glades and 441. You can see her in the video saying, this is Glades, this is 441, it's right here. She says he'll be there first thing when the bank opens, and he's going to be taking out $10,000. When he takes out that money, he's going to go to his partner's office. He's going to give the money to his partner, and then he's going to go to his dentist's office. And she tells him, I thought maybe you can do this. If you don't mind doing it in public, you can just take the money from him. She's trying to have Mike Dippolito basically finance his own murder. If that's not a cold, calculated killer, I don't know what is. Now, at one point, Woody John asked her, make sure this is what she wants done. Make sure she's not going to leak anything. She pipes right up. She says, I'm tougher than I look.
Good. What I mean, I'm just saying for you, understand? Because I don't know how well you handle pressure. Understand? I don't know, because I don't want.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm a lot tougher than what I look. I know you see me, and you're like, oh, what a cute little girl, whatever. But I'm not.
He also gives her a chance, confirms that this is exactly what she wants to have done. This is what she's thinking. This is what she intends. She tells him, there's no changing my mind. She's determined. In fact, she tells him she's not 100% sure. She's not 500% sure. She's not even 1,000% sure. She's 5,000% sure she wants her husband dead.
There's no changing, no, there's no, like, I'm determined already. I'm positive, like, 5,000% sure, like, I was stressing when you told me you were going to come up here, and then I'm, like, looking at the time, I'm like, what the fuck, he's not coming, he's not this, you know, it's like, all this stuff or whatever, like, no, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, like,
When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Now, manipulation. Manipulation is an evil tactic to get exactly what you want. Dalia Dippolito has an uncanny ability to manipulate men and give her exactly what she wants. Let's look first at Mohammed Shihada. This is a man she's known off and on for 10 years. She's rekindled a relationship with him over the years. You've heard they'd be together and off and on. Now, she rekindled her relationship with him and started to manipulate him. She lied to him, made him believe that she was in a horrible, abusive relationship. Mohammed felt bad for her. He went to a friend of his who was a police officer and tried to get her some help. He was helping her try to get Mike Dippolito's probation violated because he thought that she was married to an awful person. It wasn't until later, and he testified, that she came to him and said, no, he doesn't abuse me. He's just a nerdy guy. That's an awful thing to lie about. Now, she continued with Mohammed Shihada. She went so far as to buy him a Range Rover as part of her manipulation. She also used one of her most powerful tools, it seems, with him. She continued a sexual relationship with him. You heard that she had sex in parking lots with him. You heard that she would randomly give him blowjobs when she would see him. She used sex as her tool. Now, this manipulation of Mohammed continued until the point that he realized she was dead serious. She also tried to manipulate Officer Wilson of the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department. You heard him. He came in here and testified that he met with her and she said, oh, my husband's a drug dealer. We'll go to the yard house. I'll call you. She offers him money. Basically tries to bribe a police officer to arrest her husband because she wants to get his probation violated. Then there's Mike Stanley. Some lovers evidently never disappear out of your life. This was one of them. She lied to him. She had him convinced that she was in an awful, abusive relationship. You've seen from Mike Dippolito, this is far from true. Mike Stanley would fly to West Palm Beach. He'd meet the defendant. They'd have sex. She'd make promises to him. She promised him they'd be together. She told him constantly, you're my soulmate. Reeling him in. Now, you heard a lot of text messages. These define their relationship. And while Mr. Salnick pointed out in trial that sexting may not be illegal, it certainly establishes a really good motive. Now, some of those texts, let's look back at them. She said, she texted to Mike Stanley, I miss you kissing me. I haven't stopped thinking about you. I love you so much. I'm so attracted to you, inside and out. Baby, you're everything I want and need. Do you feel the same? I love you so much. I'm so horny for you. I want your baby in me. I think now we're closer than ever. Do you agree? Love you so much. I love the way you are with me. I love the attention. After all these texts is when she starts to ask him, call the U.S. Treasury. Have them freeze Mike Dippolito's bank accounts. She instructs him to spoof numbers. And you heard testimony of spoofing. It's a way of calling someone and disguising your ID. She had him spoof Mike Dippolito, act as the attorney they met with and talked with. Now, she doesn't stop there. She tries to get Mike Dippolito's probation violated and send him back to prison. To do this, she needs to continue manipulating, so the sexting continues. What time will you be here? I want us to start baby making. Soulmates is what we are, meant to be together. Do you know I have baby names picked out? I want your child in me. Me too. Let's get this shit handled. I really hate him and want to see him rot. I love you. Just want my life with you. Let's get him arrested. I'm so tired of this shit. I need the house, and we'll take care of that tomorrow. Next, we need to figure out his account. Now, this is the exact point in time that she gets Mike Stanley to spoof Mike Dippolito, act as an attorney, give legal advice, which results in him going on July 31st and signing the title of the house over to her. Go back and look at those text messages, because there's an interesting one on that same exact day. On that day, later, she texts Mike Stanley. She said, we've accomplished one huge goal for this week, and that's the house. I just need you to help me figure out the rest for next week. Clearly, they're in this together. Manipulation beyond all belief. Next, there's Mike Dippolito. This is the man she's manipulated all along. She met him. He thought it was love at first sight. They got married to each other after only knowing each other for a few months. Now, a few days before they got married, he bought them a nice new house. The same house that she would eventually manipulate him into signing over to her. He bought her a $20,000 engagement ring. He bought her expensive David Yurman jewelry. Bought her all kinds of nice gifts, purses, all kinds of stuff. He did everything to keep her happy. He was madly in love with her. Think about the way he even was on the stand. He didn't say the defendant. He says, my wife. You heard from him that he wanted to get off probation so they could travel. He wanted them to be able to travel and have a wonderful life together. Because unlike her, he loved her. Now, as part of the plan, he told you that he would give her money to set aside to pay off this restitution. She agreed. I'll contribute $99,000 to this. Then they go one day and this all falls through. She says, I want my money back. He ends up giving more money to her best friend's husband, and he told you, I've never seen it back. Now, Mike Dippolito starts to question her about this money. Where is it? Where's my money? At this point, she has the house. She owes him tons of money. She needs a way out. In her evil, warped mind, the only option is to murder him. Now, we see evidence of her evil intent regarding the house and her jail call to her mom.
I want him out of my house.
Okay, well, right now we're going to need to have a lawyer first,
It's my
okay?
house. The title's in my name.
That's my house. Title's in my name. She then has the audacity to call the man that she tried to have killed from the county jail. She wants to manipulate him even more. She begs him for help. Tells him, I didn't do anything, Mike. Begs him, are you going to get me an attorney? Get me an attorney. Help me. Why aren't you helping me? She reminds him. Manipulation at its finest. I do things for you. I did this for you. I did that for you. She's trying to get what she wants again. He confronts her. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've seen you. I've heard your voice. You gave somebody money. She lies. No.
Anybody's $1,200. Period. Where they got that from, I have no idea. I never gave anybody money. I never paid anybody money. I never anything. Nothing of nothing of nothing. And you have my word. Nothing.
Now, the state's burden is to prove the allegation to you beyond a reasonable doubt. And as the judge just stated to you, reasonable doubt, it's not a possible doubt, it's not an imaginary doubt, it's not a speculative doubt, and it's not a forced doubt. The one thing you can't do when you go back into that jury room is say, well, maybe this could have happened, or it's possible that this, you don't get to do that. If you do that, it's guilty. There has to be a reason for your doubt. And as the judge said, if you have an abiding conviction of guilt, you must find her guilty. Now, the other thing the judge said is that your sympathies and your personal biases, they don't come into play. They stay out at that door. But the one thing that does come in that door is your common sense. Now, common sense, it's our street smarts. It's something that no matter how much education, how many degrees you have, doesn't matter. It's something that we develop as a small child. Something nobody can ever take away from you. Common sense is one of the most valuable tools you have in life in judging credibility, judging a story, what makes sense and what doesn't. Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you, use your common sense and look at this case. If you do, you'll find she's guilty. Now, the other thing that you must do as a juror is to judge the credibility of witnesses, and you've heard a lot of witnesses in this case. Let's start with Mike Dippolito. Yes, he's a convicted felon. There's no getting around it. He admitted to you, yes, I'm a convicted felon. I messed up. I was a drug addict. I had a horrible problem. But he owns up to what he did. Now, let's go back to jury selection for a minute. Ms. Parker asked everyone in jury selection if you could believe a convicted felon. And everyone said yes. I can judge it. I'm not going to discredit someone just because they're a convicted felon. Now, Mike Dippolito sat in here and he answered questions. He answered Mr. Salnick's questions. He didn't fight with him. He just answered his questions. He even admitted to things that were harmful to him. He said, yes, I've lied to my probation officer. Yes, when I first got out of prison and got on probation, I did drugs. He sat up there and was honest. And he's consistent with his answers. Next, you have Mohammed Shihada. You heard from multiple police officers that they spoke to him a lot of different times. And as I said before, they talked about how Mohammed's story was consistent. To them, it's consistent in his testimony. And his testimony was corroborated by facts, other facts throughout this entire case. Look at the fact, too, that he didn't even want to come forward. He didn't want the defendant to get in trouble. He just wanted to save somebody from getting hurt. He's not in this for anything else. The things he said are corroborated, and the events he knew about, the Ritz-Carlton, City Place, all these different events are corroborated by Mike Dippolito, a man he has never even met. Why? Because it's consistent and truthful. There was quite a few police officers that you heard from. They were straightforward. They answered the questions. Some of them made mistakes. Sergeant Sheridan came in here and told you, yes, I did some things wrong. I screwed up. Won't do it the same way next time. He owned up to things. We're not trying to cover anything up. And when you look at the testimony of these police officers, you treat it just as you would any other witness in this case. Then there was defense witnesses. You heard from Randa Muhammad, the defendant's mother. And it's completely understandable that it must be an extremely difficult thing to walk into a criminal courtroom, see your daughter sitting here facing serious allegations. But she has an obvious bias. And bias is something you can consider in weighing the credibility of a witness. The defense put her on the stand to talk about the funeral home, the facts surrounding it. Think back to her demeanor. When Mr. Salnick questioned her, she was very quiet. She was very meek in answering. In fact, she started crying at one point in time. Now, what happened on cross-examination? Ms. Parker got up. She apologized to her. She expressed sympathy for the loss of her father. She softly approached her, asked her questions. She questioned her about the websites the defendant looked at, the funeral websites. And she asked her about the conversation she and the defendant obviously must have had after this all took place, when the defendant looked these websites up. When she questioned her on whether and when she talked to the defendant about these websites and the research that was done, she snapped. You saw her. She began to yell at Ms. Parker. While it's a dramatic thing to think about, or traumatic thing to think about, her reaction was not at all fitting or responsive to the question that was asked. It was a simple question about what time your daughter called you. Not badgering about a funeral, not badgering about the passing of her father, about a phone call. And the question you have to ask yourself is why? Why would she go from being this meek, timid woman to screaming? Why? Because she knew her daughter didn't call her that day. Go back and look at those phone records. Her daughter didn't call her that day after this research was done. She knew her daughter was out meeting with a hitman to have her husband murdered.
Objection. Facts not in evidence. Move for mistrial.
Motion for mistrial denied. Objections of facts not in evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, that ultimately is your decision.
Is it
whether
serious?
the facts were or were not in evidence. That's for you
He's
to
serious.
collectively.
Nice try.
Yeah.
Good try.
Like,
Good try.
yeah. Bravo,
Gosh.
buddy. Bravo, freaking oh. Good, nice. You know what?
Oh,
Good
not
Lord.
yet.
Too soon. It's too soon.
Too soon. I think the judge kind of laughed when he said that. Like,
I think he did too.
move for mistrial. Okay. How about no?
The judge was like, no.
Yeah. No. Did you watch the videos? I'm 5,000% sure I'm not going to grant that. Okay, good. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, no. Aw, look at the kitty cat. It's so cute. I know, Bobby. That was funny. I swear the judge laughed. How could you not? I did. I mean, she's almost done. And then we get to hear all about reality TV shows and cops.
Oh, great.
I guarantee you that's what his closing's about. Oh, and how bad Mikey D is. The only person who, like, he's alive and doing well. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he's the only one out of this whole story that's doing well.
Yeah, I mean, he's making a living. I don't know if it's honest.
Well,
but
you know, that's his business, not mine.
True story. I think the judge likes little Mike a little too much. I think you might be right, Bad Dazzer. It was probably when he
winked at him.
And winked at him. You know, a parrot.
I can't believe, like, I'm just still, my flabbers are gasted with that still, you know? And then just the state's attorneys were just laughing about it. I mean, it was a good time. Good. You know that song? The Good Old Days?
Yeah,
That's what it
you're a
was in the
parrot.
beginning here.
I'm a what? You're a parrot. You know.
You're a parrot. You keep it.
That's because the defense.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, he wanted to get mad, and then he couldn't. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, would you after that? After I saw the state's attorneys just dying laughing, like they couldn't hold it in when he said it. They were like, "What?"
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Defense better give me something. Well,
they're gonna give you something already. You're not gonna like it, but
yeah, it's gonna be kind of what we heard yesterday. The witness list was
crap.
useless and confusing, and Little Miss Sunshine scared the crap out of me. I had nightmares. I'm not.
Which one? Her or her mother? Are you referring to Little Miss Sunshine?
Little Miss Utah. Hi, Dad.
Oh, yeah. She's like, "Oh, Daddy, I'm excited to be here."
Who took meth today? I mean, I do. I swear to tell the truth. That's what I mean.
She's like, I just ate a gallon of food.
Oh my gosh. That face.
Me, and you will like it.
She's still doing well and still kind of creepy looking.
Oh, definitely creepy looking, yeah.
She kind of has that stare about her too. She might be smiling, but she's still staring right through you.
Yeah, she looks like that like modern day horror movie Annabelle or what's her Megan.
Yes. Like you're backing away from Sarah Coyne right into Dahlia's mom. And it's like, well, crap.
They're all dolls. They're all just like,
It's like I'm screwed either way. Whatever. 100%. 100%.
I mean, I don't think you need to be sleeping for that to happen. You just need to turn your head away.
You're just gonna wish you were. And also, you are correct, Bad Dazzer.
Or at least herpes.
Yeah, the smile, like that, the movie smile, like that. She's the cover. She's the movie poster.
Yep. For sure.
All right, finish this. This woman's jacket, the way it's sitting, is giving her a weird boob shelf.
I'm telling you, she needs to stop shopping at Baby Gap.
She needs to stop shopping with the other prosecutor over there.
Yes. Yeah. Just stop doing it.
One size up. It's okay.
Not even like half a size. It's just I feel
a little bit
constricted just looking at her.
Yes. Not as bad as
I'm not a small girl. I'm not a small girl by all means. I'm a little chunky. I got some big, hoo-has and everything. So I know her struggle. And let me tell you. And let me tell you, this is struggling. Her hoo-has are struggling. Okay? You gotta let them breathe a little bit. You can't be doing this to them.
I think they're trying to get out.
Yeah. Oh, they're trying to get out. Oh, they're at the end of the night.
Yes.
They're at her.
We all got the curves. Curves.
Oh, yeah.
The curves.
Are you kidding me? I'm Sicilian. I got a big ass and huge hips. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, people. This is just the way of life.
Way it is. Okay. A good fitting suit can cover up a multitude of snacks. Absolutely.
No, she has a bag of chips. She has a bag of chips hidden in her bra.
That's the only place that she could hide them. Whoever. I was wondering where you were. I was like, whoever's gonna miss closings. But yes, there's no other place to hide them.
Yeah, she at least has a wedge of cheese somewhere hidden.
We
in
we
that
would see them.
jacket.
Yeah, I don't know. I figured you were sleeping, whoever. I can't yell from here. Be like, wake up, whoever.
I'll just send a message to, Chrissy to send a message to whoever.
Yes. You can just go knock on whoever's door. We know you don't know each other, but it'd be fine. It'd be okay.
You guys will be great friends, promise.
We'll just send it real hard. Like we'll think that next time. Gabby and I will just be like, "Wake up, whoever."
Yeah,
See if it gets there. You
it'll
never
get
know.
there.
It'll get
We'll send
there.
a
All right.
carrier pigeon.
That too, and some skunks, so you can enjoy the Indiana skunks.
Oh god.
Well, mellow those things out a little bit.
All right.
To that decision. So with that caveat, I'll overrule that objection as well.
You also heard from 2 defense experts, people who are paid great sum of money to be here, both of them flown in from the West Coast, the opposite side of this country. Now, the judge instructed you, there's a special instruction that you were read and that you can read again about an expert's testimony. And you're the one who decides whether their opinion is reliable in regards to what they're testifying to. And you're the one that gets to decide whether you believe or disbelieve any or all of their testimony. The defense wants you to believe that this was a bad prank, a stunt. There's absolutely no evidence of this. You've seen a greedy, manipulative, evil woman who won't stop at anything to get what she wants. She decided the life she had was the one she wanted, but not with the person she wanted it with. During what should have been the honeymoon phase, first 6 months of her marriage, she's out sleeping with 3 different men, blowing through her husband's money, and plotting Mike Dippolito's murder. She got herself in way too deep, and the only way out was to kill him. Without a second thought, she planned her husband's murder as simple as making a as though it's as simple as making a dinner reservation. She had no remorse, no hesitations. This was cold, calculated, premeditated. Because ladies and gentlemen, remember something. When she wants, she's going to do something, she's going to do it. Thank you.
Well, well, well. Let me take that down. Close that. Open this. Yeah, she was blowing a lot. She could have said she was blowing something else, and she would not have been wrong, because there was a lot of testimony about that. Can't wire him because, she's gonna find, she'll find it. All right. Let me start him here. If I need to slow him down, I will. I doubt I will.
Use your notes, but in 2008, if I'm calculating this right, he's got about $1.1 million in about a 10-month period. And this is a guy who the state wants you to believe, because he's owned up to things, he's being truthful. The prosecution wants you, well, let me say this. There's sort of an unspoken rule that I've lived by in the 30 years that I've been a criminal defense lawyer. And it comes from common decency as much as it comes from trial strategy. And that is a conscious effort to not pick on someone who was victimized or allegedly victimized in the course of a case. But in this case, we've got to ask ourselves, where's the victim? There really isn't one. The prosecution has attempted to portray Mike Dippolito as somebody who is the deaf, dumb, and blind guy who was duped by his cunning wife. Is that really what came across from him? Is he that stupid? Is he sly as a fox? We heard from a man who stole money from people. We heard from a man who cut a deal. We heard from a man looking for immediate short-term gratification. And now he's on probation for 28 years for whatever his reasons. Oh, I didn't like my lawyer. My lawyer told me I was going to get off, but I didn't. So now I'll go through 3 or 4 other lawyers, and let's see if I can complicate the mess there too. So we go through the first lawyer, which was his original lawyer, and then some traffic court lawyer who didn't do anything for him, and then Mr. Entin, who threw him out of the office, and then the fourth lawyer who didn't do anything but got $3,500, and now he's represented by Mr. Fronsted, who I pointed out, who I said is his current lawyer. Can't tell you about what's going on currently. I can only tell you what's gone on in the past. But he's still on probation, and he still hasn't paid the restitution back, according to his testimony. What we see here is that Mike Dippolito almost became obsessed with not having to spend his own money to pay restitution. Mike Entin said it the best. It's very simple. You pay the money, you write the letter, you file the motion, and Mike Entin said he just about had an agreement from this Don Tenebrook, who's a prosecutor in Broward County. It's not that complicated. Sure, the state's asked questions. Well, doesn't the judge have to be the ultimate one who decides it? So even if you pay your money back, does that mean that you're going to get off probation? Well, Mr. Entin said that it was almost a done deal. All he was waiting for was the money. But once again, Mike Dippolito was the one who made it complicated. A guy who handles and manipulates his money like Mike Dippolito is someone that you got to think about with respect to how you're going to believe him, not only with his money, but with everything else. The checks to Dalia from Mike are always under $10,000. And if you look at his records, even in a cursory look, he's moving money from Mad Media. He gives it to his wife. Sometimes he cashes it. He wants you to believe, I cash it because all the banks were closing. And that's why I keep a stash of cash in my safe deposit box, sometimes $160,000, sometimes $100,000. Every fiber of his existence seems committed to hiding his money and his property from probation. And as I said in the beginning, this all started when he put the cashier's check in his wife's name. This is not something that was manipulated as has been suggested by Dalia Dippolito. How could he not have seen the activity in his wife's account? He's not telling you the truth. Think how much he's in charge when it comes to his money. Who believes for 1 second that he looked at her account for 5 minutes? And if he did, he could have never missed the fact that there was never $91,000 somewhere. He talked about his friend Chris Rossetti, and briefly I'll just mention that because he called him a brother. I don't know what the relationship is. I don't know if it's a murky relationship. I have no idea. The only thing we do know is that Mike said they're like brothers. There's a $15,000 check written to cash, and it's not endorsed by Chris Rossetti. It's endorsed by Chris Rossetti's wife, according to Mike Dippolito. And when I presented him with that check, his answer was, well, it must have been for data. Who knows what it was for? I think he was a little surprised to see it. Let's talk about Dalia Dippolito. But I gotta just grab some water. Never mind for a second. Let's talk about Dalia Dippolito. You've seen her on video. You saw her in the police station. And what's most telling are the things that Dalia says when she's in police custody. She wants to go home. She doesn't understand what's happened here. She didn't have the idea that she had done something criminally wrong. She wants to talk to her husband. She wants to talk to her husband. She wants to talk to her mother. She again wants to talk to her husband. What does she say to her mother during one of those jail phone calls? They did this to me. The state seems to make it seem like she did or didn't know the phone calls were recorded. It didn't matter because, first of all, I think Mr. Yorganjian said that when those calls go to one side or another, the calls say that they're recorded, and there's something in the jail that says the calls are recorded. She calls her mother. They did this to me. She's upset. When they bring her husband in the way that they did, she wants to talk to her husband, but the police aren't going to let that happen. Mike Dippolito said that they were together 24/7. And the phone records seem to show that Mr. Dippolito or Miss Dippolito had some need to be in constant touch and communication with each other when they weren't physically together. And again, with Detective Marino, I went through the phone records and I showed you, and you can see them if you decide to look at them, that Miss Dippolito and Mike would talk. They would text. They would talk. They would talk after she talked to Mohammed Shihada. They would talk before she talked to Mohammed Shihada. It's all there on those records. Now, you heard Dalia's mother testify, and I want to talk a little bit about that. Yeah, it's her mother, okay? It's her mother. What do? Call someone, who doesn't know her well, who hasn't seen her change, who hasn't watched the way she was controlled or manipulated? It's her mother. And what does her mother tell you? That after she met Mike Dippolito, she wasn't the same. She said that Mike sort of had a very insincere smirk and couldn't look her in the face. It was just kind of strange that he couldn't look straight at you. And it was a mother's instinct. I'll leave that to you to interpret that. But it was a mother's instinct how she felt. And she was clearly upset about their relationship. She told you about their marriage. She told you what went on with respect to their marriage and how she found out about it. And then the prosecution, when Miss Burkhart stepped up, talks to you about how Miss Mohammed acted at the time that she was questioned by the state. Now, I want you to think about this, and yeah, I would use your common sense with respect to this. Her father dies. Her daughter gets arrested. She said that her daughter did some research on the internet for funeral homes because he was dying. And the state makes a big deal about, well, what time did she call? When did she call? When did you have communication with her? She's dealing with the death of her father. She's dealing with the circumstances with her daughter. And somehow the state wants to suggest that she's lying or she's making it up. And you bet she did get angry. And you bet she did change her demeanor. She's being questioned about something that was such a traumatic event in her life. If anyone has ever lost anybody, think about, do you know when you made the phone call to do this? Do you know when you made the phone call to do that? Do you know when you called the funeral home to do that? No way. No way. And I have to tell you that one of the things that's interesting is, if you look on the website, of the searches that were done according to Carol Peden, one of the places that is dealt with is a cremation service of the Palm Beaches. Now, that happens to be the same paperwork that was used when they unfortunately and sadly had to cremate her father. So it's not like she's looking for something that isn't there, and the state wants you to draw some inference that is not supported by the evidence. So she was probably researching where to bury Mike. Come on. The evidence doesn't lie, the physical evidence doesn't lie, the paperwork doesn't lie, but we might as well take a little bit of a shot at that. I want to go back to Dalia, but I want you to keep something in mind here. One of the things that you will have to consider when you are instructed is the judge has defined, and you will have these with you, but to solicit means to ask earnestly, or to try to induce the person solicited to do the thing solicited. I want to talk to you about earnestly. What was Ms. Dippolito asking earnestly? Well, the phone records that the phone records you've seen that show contact with the CI certainly gives both of them the opportunity that's there. They were in contact and they were talking. They were together in meetings. They were on the phone. So what's so earnest about that? She was in contact with Mr. Shihada. The statement about 5,000% is kind of an over-the-top statement. What is that? Does that really mean or connect that that's what she wanted done? She didn't give Woody Jean any money. And she knows that there's cameras. She's looking at the camera. Even Woody Jean made the comment that at first they weren't sure where they placed the cameras, but then he says, oh, no, it's impossible. She couldn't have known that the camera was there. It's impossible that she and Mohammed could have talked about that on the way over. It's impossible when they go into the Chili's and they're not wired because of a decision that everyone disagreed with that was made by Paul Sheridan, that they didn't talk about that. She doesn't give Woody Jean a key to the house. And obviously, as I mentioned before, Mohammed obviously expected her to be home on the day she was arrested because of the phone call. We're going to talk about the phone call with Mike. Can't do that. We're going to talk about the phone call with Mike. And then the other thing is, the confidential informant, Mohammed Shihada, knocks on the window while this meeting with Woody Jean is going on. Hey, do you want a drink? I want you to think about that for a minute. Mohammed Shihada is an informant. The state wants you to believe that the two of them, that Mohammed Shihada had no idea who Woody Jean was, and Woody Jean didn't know who Mohammed Shihada was. Even if Woody Jean didn't know who Mohammed Shihada was, Mohammed Shihada certainly knew what was going on. And Woody Jean knew there was an informant. He just said he may not have met that informant. But why does Mohammed go up to the window? I mean, does that happen when people are negotiating things as earnestly as the state wants you to believe? You need to think about that as well, because there's flaws in what went on. Woody Jean says that a number of things that would indicate what he did wasn't real, and she knew that. He says she can pay him later. That's absurd. You're dealing with a hitman. He says he's got to make a phone call to the police to see how long it takes to get the police to respond. He says he's got to get other people involved. She knows there are cameras. And she also had made a comment that Mike is not going to answer the door. I'm talking about cameras at their house, if he doesn't know the person. There's a lot of things that are said that are just absolutely meaningless as you consider what went on. But let's go further. Let's talk about Dalia. You watched the other tape when she was in the room with Detective Anderson and Detective Marino. And she's not in the comfort of a courtroom. And she's not in the comfort of a place where she can sit down with a lawyer and have a lawyer prepare her. And the judge will tell you, and it's in your instructions, there's nothing wrong with a lawyer talking to a witness about their testimony, but we're going back to the time and the date that she was arrested. She's sitting in there by herself, and she's confronted with police officers that basically she shares with that she didn't know what was happening when she was in the room with Marino and Anderson, and that she never hired someone to kill her husband. And each time they ask her during that second meeting to talk, she wants to speak to her husband. And they try to cajole her into saying, we all make mistakes. But she didn't commit a crime. She didn't do anything wrong. She said she felt lost. She was signing a lot of things. And even at one point, she says some news guy came for a release or something for her to sign. That's on the tape in that room that you watched. The police play that one off. They ignored that one. Well, I don't know if that's a second release. We know the first release was ripped up according to Sheridan, but the police play that off. And she keeps saying, I didn't do anything. One officer says you should feel like a fool denying this. Why? Because the officer saw it only one way and one way only. Even Ms. Dippolito said in that room, you've already made up your mind. And they say to her, a jury will never believe her. This case is cut and dry. Why? Because they looked at it in the context of what they had and not anything else. Why? Because they hadn't done a thorough investigation at that point, and they didn't know much about the players involved. But they say it anyway. But she maintains her respectfulness, but she's not going to admit to something that she didn't do. And she says, I want to tell you, is it going to change the outcome? She doesn't know what to do. All she wants to do is speak to her husband. I don't know why he's home and not here, is what she says. She was waiting for her husband to come in. This whole thing wasn't supposed to happen this way. And Mike Dippolito knew that, and Mohammed Shihada knew that. She even says he was never going to be a dead victim. They ignore that. The police continue to look at this one way and one way only. And when she says she has no criminal record, Anderson says, well, you do now. From today on, you do. Let's just skip a trial. Let's skip any degree of fairness. Let's just forget about what happens. You got a criminal record now. That's how these police officers are talking to him. And she again says, you guys have your minds made up. And Mr. Anderson is obviously extremely sensitive when he's in there. Dalia's not getting it, but Anderson says, don't ask me from this time on if you're going home. What more proof do you need? It doesn't get any better than this. She said quite a bit with the officers, but they didn't want to hear her. Now, when she calls Mike Dippolito, when she ultimately gets to the jail, you have that phone call and you have that transcript, and you have to decide what Mr. Dippolito's motives were and whether Mr. Dippolito is telling you the truth. And she calls, and you have to read the whole thing in context to understand it. But when she first calls, it's like nothing's wrong. Hey, what's up? You know, she calls him on the phone. Hey, what's up? And then he says, hey, listen, Han, I don't want to fight with you. You know, he wants you to believe that he took that call out of curiosity. And the police told him to have no contact with her. But he picks the phone right up. And what does he say? I called your mother. Why is he going to do that if she's really trying to kill him? And when he watched these videos, he believed it. He spoke to her brother. Why would he do that if this is actually what the state wants you to believe? He said a little bit too much, you know, and he knows the jail phones are recorded. He's been in the county jail. He's been in prison. So he's being careful, but he's trying to tell his wife what's going on here. Her brother even stopped by the house, according to Mr. Dippolito. What kind of game is Mr. Dippolito playing here? It's a real serious one, considering where Dalia Dippolito was when she called. And on the phone, he says, he'll fix it. He'll fix it. He's the only one who's ever done what he says he'll do. Keep your mouth shut, say nothing. What do you think he's trying to say? What's he doing? Why is he even having this conversation, addressing these things with Ms. Dippolito, if he wants her to think he's so angry about him supposedly trying to be killed by her? He's cunning. We've seen how cunning he is. We know how cunning he is. But he's certainly trying to get a message to his wife. Now, it appears as if during those meetings, she expected her husband to show up, but he didn't. And the joke was on her. Even the police officers say that she wasn't believable. Her reactions weren't believable. One of them said she looked like she was acting. Woody Jean infers, but steps back because he doesn't really want to say it, that she's looking at the camera. She knows what's going on. We talked about Mohammed coming up to the window. We talked about the things that occurred during that meeting. For all those 75 calls and texts with Mohammed, is it reasonable to think that they only spoke on the phone and they didn't see each other? With the one text from Mohammed where he says he's coming over, is it reasonable to think that he didn't know Mike Dippolito? Is it reasonable to think that when he made a comment about Mike Dippolito, even the police officers initially say, well, one of them said, well, I don't know if they were acquainted or if they didn't know each other or if they didn't have a friendship. And then when the officer realizes what he says under oath, whoops, I shouldn't have said that. And when the prosecutor gets up, she asks him a question, and it's not the prosecutor's fault. She's doing what she believes to be her job. But the officer backs off again. He knows, oh, I shouldn't have said that. You know, why did I say that? There's problems. There's a lot of problems here. And it's not what it appears to be. Which takes us to Mike Stanley. The state presented a lot of text messages with Mike Stanley. What do they prove? That her husband was doing bad things, that she wanted out. So they discussed violating his probation, calling legal public agencies to report his activities. Even Detective Moreno said there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make her a bad person. She's scared. You saw the texts. You've seen what she talked about with respect to her husband. The state wants you to think that somehow she's manipulating this Mike Stanley person. If she met Mike Stanley at a hotel and had an affair with him, that's her business. You may not like that, but she's not on trial for that. And you can't make a judgment about the evidence in this case based on that. And there's no text about her planting drugs. They're discussing them in the context that they did isn't a crime. She talks about Mike Dippolito owing a lot of money and is still scamming, and she wants to put a stop to that. And she goes to Mike Stanley. Well, we know Mike Dippolito is still scamming. And Mike Stanley says he called probation, and the phone records show that. Does that make Dalia Dippolito guilty of solicitation to commit murder? There's no talk about killing Mike. There's no talk about hiring a hitman. There's no talk about anything concerning that. Because if there was, you'd have seen a text message about it. She cared about this guy. They sexted to each other. And what does this prove? They texted, they sexted. Does that mean a crime was committed? And then there's a text about Mike Dippolito being very concerned that someone finding out that the house he owned outright had no mortgage, and he's the one who wanted it in his wife's name. You can't get away from the fact, and this is important, if you want to say, okay, well, Miss Dippolito's saying that on a text, and somehow maybe they went to their teller, they went to their teller named Lucky at the bank, and they were lucky that Lucky put it in Miss Dippolito's name. Here's what you can't get away from. Detective Moreno testified, and remember this, he said himself yesterday that Mike Dippolito told him he didn't want the house in his name until he took care of his probation obligation. The state can say whatever they want about spoofed calls, about advice from a lawyer. That doesn't change what Alex Moreno said that Mike Dippolito told him. Even at Todd Serber's office, the lawyer, Mike paid for it. Nothing seemed wrong. Mike said it was for business reasons. It sure was monkey business reasons, but Mike said it was for business reasons. So this is not something that comes from Dalia Dippolito. This is something that comes from your lead detective who tells you Mike Dippolito told you that. His manipulation and control went to the detectives as well. Think about that. He directed them to a certain computer. When one of the witnesses testified, Mr. Anderson, I believe, Mr. Anderson says when he's asked the question, well, who told you which computer to go to, you know, when they were doing the seizure? And first, Mr. Anderson says it was Mike Dippolito. And then the state says, well, could it have been someone else? Or I don't know how they said the question, but then he says, Mohammed Shihada. Okay, now it's Mohammed Shihada and Mike Dippolito. Well, the tiebreaker comes from Detective Moreno because he's asked the same question. Who directed you to the computer? And what does he say? Mike Dippolito. Mike Dippolito said, first, he never went on her computer, but maybe once he went on her computer, and maybe he checked things on her computer. And interestingly enough, he said at one time when all this stuff was going on that he's telling you about, he thought about getting a guard dog. Well, it's kind of interesting that the state can say whatever they want about the fact that Miss Peden, when she testified, didn't have a date for it. But the fact remains that Mike directed him to the computer, and what's the data that she found on the computer? She found data on this computer about dogs. And this is in evidence, I'm not going to show it to you again, but about guard dogs, about the Canine Academy. But no, Mike Dippolito was never on that computer. We know that spouses and significant others can use each other's computers. And that's data. That's not, you know, anybody having a particular stake in anything. That's what she found. And Mike directed them to that computer. He must have forgotten about that when he came in here and he testified. Because if the computer was seized as part of the investigation, well, then that search had to be on there before that time, unless the police decided to search for guard dogs on Mike Dippolito's computer, or on the computer that they seized. Now, they also talked about other computers that Mike had, and for whatever their reasons, they didn't take them. Mike Dippolito said he'd never go near a gun because he's a convicted felon and he knows he can't go near guns. But on cross-examination, I questioned him as to whether or not he ever texted a friend of his, this Brian Darrow, about a gun, and he said that, yeah, I may have talked to him about a gun. Well, that's certainly inconsistent. According to Todd Serber, if Mike died, the house would have been Dalia's. Well, then why go to the trouble of putting it in her name? I'll tell you why. It's because of the continued manipulation of Mike Dippolito. The state wants you to believe that she manipulated Mike Stanley as well. Well, at the very end of Mike Stanley's text messages, there's that one little line, and you can look at it when you look at everything. There's that one little line in the evidence where it says, "Hey, thanks for the service. My confidence is so much better, and I think I may start seeing somebody very serious. I talk to girls so much better now." So what is it? Is she manipulating him with sex and sexting and all these things? Or are they just talking? And Mike Stanley certainly isn't hoping to have her if that version of the text message makes any sense. But again, it's another question. It's something else for you to wrestle with. It's a little bit more confusing to what's already gone on. Let's talk a little bit about some other things that Ms. Dippolito's mother said. Mike Dippolito made a big deal about this Marlins game and that he was doing what he was doing for the grandfather. And he's playing you with that. He's manipulating everybody with that. The grandfather going to the game was an afterthought. It was an effort to try to make him look good. You heard what that was. He took a suite out. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He took a suite, a $3,000 suite. And when he took that $3,000 suite, you know, he doesn't just sit in the low section. He sits up there in a suite with food and fun and fancy. Again, catering to the type of lifestyle that he has. You also never saw that there was any type of search about reality TV. Again, I said that the state seems to think that asking those magical questions is the only way that this thing could have been conceived. Look at the evidence. Is it a coincidence that there were searches on Dalia's computer for reality TV?
Here we go. Are you talking about the one in the white sweater, Sticky?
Yeah, I mean, I just said.
That's her mother.
Oh, no.
I don't know if that's the one you was talking. Oh, maybe. I didn't see her. I just saw, because I can't get past the dead eyes.
Yeah.
The shark
I said
eyes.
I said the girl in the back getting rid of her split ends one hair at a time.
I didn't see her. Also,
can you hear my husband?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, don't
My
ever
bad,
apologize. No. Perfect timing if he wasn't even laughing at you.
No, he wasn't. He's watching his own thing in the other room. I have the door closed. And this always happens this way. Right when I turn on my mic, he goes in that room and he has everything on the highest level ever.
It's always funny though. You weren't looking at her sweater. Well, if it's the woman I'm talking about, that's the defendant's mom. And trust me, no, and
See, was she wearing a sweater? He says.
Yeah, I don't care if she was sitting there with nothing on. Run.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Away.
Trust me.
Run away.
Trust me.
Yeah, no, you can't. She'll unalive you too. I think her daughter learned a lot from her mommy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, look at her face right now. She's like, "Excuse me, sir."
Why are you looking at my mom?
I asked for a bendy straw and I got a straight one. Are you kidding me? What world do you live in?
Run. Just run.
Yes, run as fast as you can.
Yes. She will swallow you whole with that pelican neck, and he doesn't mean that in a good way.
Yeah, no, it's not a good way. No, not
Ew. Haley. Her floor was very sticky.
Yeah, absolutely. I will agree with Haley on that one.
Me too. Oh, ew.
Yeah, Haley, me too.
That's gross. I'm still not hearing anything negative. Well, go back and watch yesterday.
Yeah.
You can see her remain in complete control of herself.
Bendy?
I'm being sarcastic. Ew. When I say no, I get my way, okay? All right?
Exactly.
Can we call Woody Jean back? I need to talk to him. It's about my attorney. I'm 5,001% sure that he needs to not be here anymore. Okay? No, bad dads. That is a nightmare. That would be
No.
no.
That's a horror
No.
movie. It's a horror movie.
Yep. Like you dead. You dead.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. you.
Just like Dave. Just like Dave. R.I.P. Dave. And the tech. The tech is gone forever, and so is Dave.
All us brats get our way. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I have also been married for over 30 years, and I'm also used to being told what to do. So it goes both ways, my friend.
Facts, actually. Facts, yeah. Very true. Very true.
That one goes both ways. All right. This break was brought to you by Dalia. A little dabble do ya.
This break was brought to you by Mr. Clean. Because,
you're gonna need it. I saw a Service Pro truck today. This break was brought to you by Service Pro. Like it never happened. But it did.
We're having tech problems.
Helltown.
I'll call IT. Sorry, Dave isn't here right now. Please leave a message after the beep.
R.I.P. Dave. R.I.P. You know, my husband would actually find that very funny.
Keep doing laundry and bend over. My husband would too, actually. He'd be like, yeah, do what that says. Yeah.
Yes.
He'd be like, yeah, fold them socks. Fold them socks, girl.
You've been told what to do at the same time you're actually doing it the way you're being told to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's probably something you could tweak just a little bit.
Yeah,
She
maybe
wouldn't
like,
be telling you.
just listen next time.
You're doing it the way you heard to do it. But
Yeah.
not what she said.
Yeah, you have to like really listen next time.
Yes. Like to all the words. Not
Everything,
only
not
do you
just-
have to listen, you have to hear.
Yeah,
There's a difference.
exactly.
Would you
You
like
have to
any more
hear-
marriage advice, Sticky?
You also have to like just say, yeah, oh,
Yes, okay.
fabulous. I love
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm too busy folding the laundry.
You want your underwear folded in fours? Absolutely, no problem. Anytime. Love it. Great
Oh,
idea.
you can't find them? Sorry.
Oh my God, where did they go? I
Oh,
swear
you
I
two.
put them there.
You two are hilarious. You two are hilarious.
I'm sorry, can you repeat
my
that? What was it?
Yeah. Snipes like what? Yep. Nope.
Rewind. I'm not
Heidel.
repeating myself.
As if. Whatevs. Kiss my ass.
Oh God. That's great.
Whoever comes in with the voice of reason. That's why you don't want to fold them so many times. It's hard to find. They're
You
hard
know
to
what?
find because
Good
I
point.
put them in a different drawer. It's like, oh, I rearranged things today. Have a good time.
That happens to me, and I'm like, wait, what happened to my kitchen? Like, he's never in here. Why is all my stuff in the wrong place randomly? I'm like, this is awkward. I have to
It's
wait
like
till he
little
goes to work to bring it back to where it
Put it all
was.
back
Thank you very
together.
much.
Yes. Little scavenger hunt.
Oh, you have a day off? That's wonderful, honey.
That's great. A whole day? Wow.
Yeah. It's like I'm going to spend the next week putting everything back where it belongs.
Yes. Is that a fish? I don't know. He said it's not a euphemism. Is it a fish? I'm being serious. I can't congratulate you because I don't know what that is, and you're saying it's nothing bad, so. It is. It's a fish. I think it's, everybody's like, yes, it is. I think it's a fish. See, it's a fish. Okay, congratulations.
Well, where's Zach when you need him?
It is an ocean-going rainbow trout. Oh, so it's like Dahlia's mom. Got it. Thank you. Oh, and then there's Puddletown. Yes, it is a fish with a dahlia mouth. All right. Well, congratulations for real then.
Oh, wait, you cut out.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Ah, what the hell?
Echo.
Hello?
Yes, Zach would kiss it. All right.
Oh.
It's good
I don't know
now.
why my headphones just like completely disconnected then reconnected. That was weird. That's never happened. He
He's
kisses
also
loads of-
known. He does kiss loads of them. I hear both of you. Okay. All right.
Hi, whoever. That was awesome. Sorry, I was confused for a second.
You know you love me. Maybe don't ask me. I'll never tell you. I'll never tell. Look to you as it fell, and now you're in my way. I trade my soul for a wish, pennies and dimes for a kiss. Is that what Dahlia said, like, to every boy she ever met?
Yeah, while she had like, you know, her foot up in the air. She was like, hey.
Oh my gosh. Don't tell my other boyfriend.
Yeah. It's like the bend and snap, but she doesn't bend.
Ew.
Because she's, you know, a Barbie doll.
Ew. Okay. I have a nameplate now.
Did Mike Dippolito conveniently forget that? They're on the data. You've got the dates that they were searched. Those are dates prior to anything occurring. They're there. It's on the hard drive from the same computer that was seized and analyzed by the state. Their expert didn't tell you about that. Maybe they had a reason for that, and I'm sure the state will talk to you about that. But it's on the hard drive, and I didn't hide it. There was nothing to hide. It's there. Is that just by coincidence? Did they not think of asking them? Were they hoping that maybe it wouldn't be found? They've had access to that computer since the day that it was seized. No matter what the prosecution says, they could have found it and didn't. Was it a mistake? Was it an oversight? Did they forget? Did they not bother? Don't forget something else about Mohammed. For a short time, he said he was an actor. On opening statement, you saw his photos when I put him up on the board. He was on burn notice. I don't know if that's the reason he wasn't asked if this whole thing was for reality or YouTube or for a plot. I don't know what they thought his answer might have been. Sarah Coyne talked about reality TV. Sarah Coyne talked about the kind of people who watch reality TV. People looking for status, people who value fame, people who want the right clothing, cars, people who want to look good, people who say, that could be me, people who want to do very little work and make a lot of money. She didn't even know Mike Dippolito. She was never even asked to do a psychological evaluation on him, and she gave you the perfect profile of him, and that certainly supports the behavior we saw here in court. She said you can even get discovered on YouTube. You could pitch your own reality show or do something outrageous. She said some reality TV involves casting calls, and the websites show you some of that. And in light of everything you've heard and everything he's done, as I said before, do you think he's going to admit what he did? He put his wife out front one more time with this whole concoction, and the results for Dalia Dippolito have been tragic. And this whole thing about reality YouTube is not as outrageous as some people might think. It's out there and it's part of everyday life. We talked about that. And again, you don't have to have magical words in order for that to happen. There's just a few other things I want to talk to you about before I sit down. See, I have. One of the things that you'll have to consider again when you get the instruction is what a reasonable doubt is. And you're going to have to again consider that a reasonable doubt can arise from the evidence, a conflict in the evidence, or a lack of evidence. Now, folks, you might not like all the people in this case. You might not like Ms. Dippolito. You might not like Mike Dippolito or Mohammed Shihada. But that's besides the point. You were told you can't render a verdict because you feel sorry for someone or because you're angry at someone. You'll have to look at the evidence. You'll have to look at the lack of evidence. And you'll have to determine what you think is credible. And after Ms. Parker gets done, you'll get to the point where you're going to go back and start to discuss this case. And as I've said, you're going to find flaws in the evidence that's going to lead you to doubt the state's proof. And we trust that you'll see the conflict in the evidence and that you'll resolve those conflicts in favor of Dalia Dippolito. We believe that you're going to look carefully at that evidence. And where there's a lack of evidence and unanswered and unresolved questions, you're going to have a reasonable doubt, a valid reasonable doubt, not a possible doubt. And we're hoping that after having the law and looking at the evidence, that you're now equipped to put all the pieces of this case together in the proper context. And we're confident that when you look at Mohammed and Mike and the police tape and what the police did, that you'll look at it and understand there's a lot of questions here. And just because you may not like the subject matter doesn't mean that you find somebody guilty when the evidence isn't there. We all talked about that. You don't have to agree on what your doubt is. And you don't even have to articulate or explain your doubt to anybody. Reasonable doubt arises from the things I told you, the lack or the conflict, and that's for you to decide. One of the things the prosecutor told you, Ms. Burkhart, when she stood up is that Randa Mohammed knew her daughter was meeting with a hitman. Where is that in the evidence? That's not even a reasonable inference or a fair argument in the case. You don't throw those things in. Before I sit down, I want to remind you something I said as I concluded my opening statement. I said that you'll have a lot of questions as you go through the evidence. Did this happen? Did that happen? Was there a crime committed? When was a crime committed? What really happened here? I said that the evidence will be clear that this whole thing was never really thought through and that bad judgment is all over this case. That's different than criminal conduct. And I said that you may get frustrated. You may even get angry. But that doesn't mean in any way that the prosecution can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Dalia Dippolito committed a crime. Even the police had differing versions as to when they considered something being a crime was committed. Mr. Sheridan tells you that it was when money was paid to Mohammed Shihada. Detective Moreno says that that was just giving money. That wasn't enough yet. And he tells you that probable cause is a low standard. If I believe somebody committed a crime, then that's when somebody gets arrested. And if you believe what the police officers say, then they had allegedly a crime. But they went on and they created and they continued and they played for the media. and they played for the press, and they played for sensationalism. And they played for it even when they went and recorded Mike Dippolito, when they went and warned him. But they didn't warn him until the morning of the day of. Think about that. On the one hand, they want you to think they were worried that something would happen, that someone could get killed. On the other hand, they want you to think that we weren't worried about it because we had control of the investigation. On the other hand, they want you to think that, well, before we got involved, there was an issue with a gun. On the other hand, they want you to believe that Dalia Dippolito is so friendly with Mohammed Shihada, a guy that has 3 or 4 guns. It doesn't all add up. It doesn't make sense, and you can't have it every way. And that's why I say, look at those records. I'm not going to be able to respond to what Ms. Parker says because that's the way the law is. It's not that it's unfair, that's the law. So you have to think of what I may have said. But one of the things that you have to do when you go back and deliberate is think about everything in its proper context and look at each witness and evaluate them. That's police officers, that's lay witnesses, that's expert witnesses, that's documentary evidence, and ask yourselves why. Dalia Dippolito is now appealing to your better judgment and asking you to let her wake up from this nightmare and finally move on with her life. We're asking you to return the only verdict possible based on the evidence that's been presented to you, and that's not guilty.
Got her. Pause for you. Right there. So you could cue the fake crime.
Yeah, you know that when he said it's up to you to whatever. Like, yeah, remember the video of her in the car with the hitman she hired? That they caught her on tape, on video, on live video with the undercover hitman. Remember that? Yeah. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Jury. Don't forget that.
Or just don't forget, 5,000% sure she wants this done.
Yeah.
Just that one.
Also, don't forget that she's like perceives herself as a cute little girl.
Yes.
She says it in the video if you need to hear it again.
Yeah, whoever, I'm with you. I may not like... this defense attorney's better than the Broderick defense attorney, and I know you didn't watch that one with us. But yes, I am with you. I always say, if the worst of us can't get a fair trial, the best of us aren't going to get a fair trial. So
that's true.
They just, but sometimes they just don't have anything to work with.
I'm just saying, like, thank goodness I don't live in Florida.
5,000% was an exaggeration. Sure. I think it was under exaggerated. Just a touch.
It was only 50%.
I think it was like 10,000%.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe I said that wrong. So do you guys want to? The rebuttal is done by the other prosecutor, the main one that we've been watching. Her rebuttal is about an hour and 12 minutes. Do you guys want to do it, or do you want to save it? If we do it tonight,
your plan to do it?
It doesn't matter. I hate to say I can go either way in this with this group here, but I can go either way. It is up to you. If I do it and you can't stick around, Gabby, don't feel obligated. You're always welcome. So, Sticky, do it. If we do it tonight, we will wrap this trial up on Thursday.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I'm gonna take a break and eat dinner.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because like I said, it's like an hour and 12 minutes. No, we'll finish it. We'll finish it on Thursday, Puddletown. But we'll get closings out of the way today.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm just gonna have dinner and I'll be back.
Alrighty, we'll start it. Enjoy your dinner.
Oh, I shall. I made it. It's gonna be delicious.
Do it. I'm going to take a break and drink a beer. That's what Sticky said, not me.
Oh, I just got really excited. You know what? You know what, AJ? Just because of that. Your dang lips, girl. Every time you cut your camera, I'm still shocked. I look up, I'm like, oh, what the hell? Like, I completely forget you have that. Oh my God.
Ah, dang it. I had to put it up. I had to do it just for
It's hilarious.
To join the other Bratz dolls in the chat.
Well, I forget that it's there. That's my issue. Every time I look up, oh.
It would scare me too if I forgot it was there.
Well, even when it's super tiny, all you see is the lips. I look up and I'm like, oh, what the heck happened to AJ? I'm like, okay, it's an avatar. It's not really AJ.
Gabby needs to get something down her throat. Whoa.
Well, maybe in your dreams.
I think I'm funny. Like, whoever. I don't know.
AJ
I don't know
is
about
funny.
anybody else.
Oh, when AJ starts drinking, she's hilarious. You thought the other night was funny? Well, was it yesterday when we were dying laughing over the woman's, like, face? Forget, like, if she had a beer and that happened, we would have never finished that live. That live would have never gotten done. We've just been laughing for like 40 minutes straight.
That is true. Well, cheers, Heidel. It is your birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
When do we do a drinking stream? No.
When are you going to do a drinking stream?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Uno reverse card on Snipe.
Yeah, right? Licked my thumb, put my reverse card down. Nice try, Snipe. What you got?
Yesterday was amazing. Like I said, I rewatched it
great.
today. It was still good. I don't know what that means. Why do I feel like I don't know.
Rar is what she's saying. Rar.
Okay.
Hashtag
I mean, I
rar.
read it as rar, but
whoever.
I'm like, draw forward. Yeah, I'll invite you on and draw forward, make it green. Don't drink, you'll tell more Gabby fantasies. I never had a Gabby fantasy. I had a thought because I was doing something in the shower that she would have to do in the shower, which was washing my hair. You guys took that and ran with it. Censorship. Sucks.
Rar.
Rar. All right, let's get this.
Probably mad at the U.S. winning both goals.
I wasn't going to say anything because Ash is here and I was trying to be respectful. So
you just started like World War 27 with that. Are you kidding me? Good Lord, you should have never said a goddamn thing. No, ma'am.
Ash is like, you can't say the word song. Not today. Not today. I asked, I mean, apparently, obviously they edited the defense closing because he's like, we're going to talk about the Mike phone call. And then we didn't. Like, okay. So maybe he did go for 2 hours. I don't know. I'm glad we didn't have to listen to him that long. So that's I mean, when else would you think about her? I mean, I don't know what else you'd be doing in the shower thinking about her. I'm just washing my hair. I was like, dang, her hair's well, it was really long. It's not anymore. So
yeah,
now I don't have to have that thought.
I don't have any hair, so
you're on your own there, whoever.
Oh, that's
Oh
awesome.
my goodness. No, Bad Dazzler, I'm not telling the shower thought again.
You should have heard the phone call I got from Carmen.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. That's why I prefaced it with the men are going to stop hearing this after I say this sentence. And then you did. And you guys have lived there. Like set up camp, pitched your tents.
Yeah. Sitting outside the storefront waiting for the next for season 2. Little did they know that the network canceled it after season 1.
Yes. Like the first episode is done.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a full season.
Halfway through the first episode, it was
They
canceled.
were like, cut it.
Like, they can't handle this. And
They were like, and Finn, that's it.
yeah. Yes. Oh God, I can't.
Well, yes, whoever. You're also back there camping with them as well. Okay.
Oh man, that's great.
Okay. All right, Gabby,
I'm
go
gonna
eat your
pause.
dinner.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
eat my dinner. Bye.
All righty.
I'll be
Bye.
back.
Okie doke.
Tangle web we weave when we practice to deceive. A tangled web of lies and manipulation. Tangled web of trying to get Mr. Dippolito's probation violated, have him arrested. A tangled web using sex to get what she wants. The evidence in this case, ladies and gentlemen, is overwhelming. The defendant solicited Officer Woody Jean to commit first-degree murder with a firearm. The defendant is caught on video with Mohammed Shihada. She's caught on video with the undercover officer Woody Jean. The defendant is caught with calls that are recorded to the undercover officer and to Mohammed Shihada. She's caught crying to Sergeant Ramsey. She's caught in interviews with the police department, with the detectives there. And she's caught on the calls that she makes from the Palm Beach County Jail. There's no denying it. They can't say it's not her. They can't say she didn't say it. They can't say she didn't do it. So what do? They come in here and they say, well, she did, but she didn't mean it. And we talked about evidence in jury selection. We talked about what evidence is. We talked about evidence is photographs, it's documents, it's videos, it's the jail calls, it's the bank records. It's the things that you looked at in this case. It's the photographs that the defendant handed to Mohammed Shihada in the car. It's the $1,200 that she handed to Mohammed Shihada to pay for the weapon, to pay for the firearm, to kill her husband, Michael Dippolito. Evidence is also the testimony in this case. The testimony that you heard from that witness stand, that stand right there. Remember during jury selection, I told you that a trial is a little bit like an Oreo cookie, where the opening statement and the closing argument, those are the chocolate cookies, and the good stuff, the evidence, that's in the middle, that's the white stuff. And the judge instructed you, it is the evidence that you rely upon to determine your verdict, to decide your verdict. It's not what the lawyers say. Now take the evidence you saw, the evidence you heard, to determine whether or not the state proved this case beyond a reasonable doubt. And as I was sitting there during Mr. Salnick's closing argument, I wondered, were we sitting through the same trial over the past 2 weeks? You need to rely on your memories, on the evidence that you heard in this courtroom, the evidence that was presented, the evidence you saw. Now, in opening statement, Mr. Salnick made several promises to you. He said the evidence will show this is a hoax. The evidence will show this was a reality show, a stunt by Mr. Dippolito and the defendant, with Mohammed Shihada being involved. Ladies and gentlemen, where is the evidence? Where's the evidence that this was a reality show? What was the stunt? We don't know. There's none. Absolutely none. Nothing but innuendos by Mr. Salnick, suggestions, and a great story. Where's the evidence? Not one document, not one phone call, not one video, not one statement, not one word. Not one word was uttered during this investigation. Not one word was uttered to detectives. Not one word was captured on a phone call about this being a reality stunt. Not by the defendant nor anyone else. Dr. Sarah Coyne, remember she testified yesterday for the defense. And one of the things that Mr. Stalnick had said in his opening statement was that Mike Dippolito, one of the reasons that he decided he wanted to be on reality television was because of the Balloon Boy incident and because he liked to watch Jersey Shore. Well, what did Dr. Coyne tell you yesterday? That both Jersey Shore and the Balloon Boy hoax or incident occurred after the defendant, Dalia Dippolito, was arrested in this case. She was paid over $5,000. And what did she tell you? Well, she told you that American Idol and Dancing with the Stars, those are the top 2 reality shows currently on television. What evidence did she offer? No opinion. She never even spoke to the defendant. But what she did tell you is that she reviewed all of the evidence in this case. And not one mention of a reality show stunt, anything about reality television on anything that she reviewed. And what do we know from the computer expert that the defense put on? Well, one of the things that were pulled off of the defendant's computer was information about how to get on a reality show, wasn't it? Casting calls, auditions. So clearly the defendant knows the way to get on a reality show is to audition for it, not to pull some crazy stunt. Both Mike Dippolito and Muhammad deny that this is a reality show stunt, that it had anything to do with it. What the defense has presented to you, ladies and gentlemen, that's a hoax. It's not supported by the evidence. The evidence shows just the opposite. This is a plan. This is a plot. This was a cold, calculated, premeditated murder. But back in jury selection, we did talk about reasonable doubt. And some of the things that you said when you wanted to define the word reasonable was common sense. It makes sense. It's logical. It's the only outcome that's obvious. Not just a doubt for the sake of raising a doubt. It's a real doubt. It's an honest doubt. A doubt that has a foundation in the evidence or lack of evidence. Again, the evidence in this case is overwhelming. And the state's not required to answer all the questions. The one question that's important to answer is whether or not the defendant is guilty. And ladies and gentlemen, you know that there's no reasonable doubt as to whether or not the defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder in this case. The defense wants you to speculate, to think, could have been possible, maybe, could have been true that this was a stunt for reality television. But again, where's the evidence? Where's the testimony?
Objection.
Where is it?
May proceed.
Where's the evidence, ladies and gentlemen? That's what they want. They want you to speculate because there is no evidence. We talked in jury selection, and the judge instructed you that it's not a possible doubt, it's not a speculative doubt, it's not an imaginary doubt. Your doubt has to have a reason. It can't be forced. And if you're sitting in your chair right now, after listening to Mr. Salnick talk, when he was speaking, and you're thinking to yourself, maybe it happened, maybe what he's saying is possible. Now, based on the law, what is your verdict? Your verdict's guilty, because it can't be possible doubt, a speculative doubt, a forced or imaginary doubt. Now, Mike Dippolito, he loved the defendant. He trusted her, and he was blinded by that love. He didn't see how she manipulated him, how she lied to him, how she cheated on him, how she told him that she loved him, how she acted like she loved him. He showered her with gifts. He treated her family wonderfully. He spent his money on her, bought her a nice house, beautiful jewelry. He gave her everything. He thought they were in a loving marriage. He couldn't even comprehend what she had done to him. his new bride of just 6 months. And he did tell you he was a convicted felon. And he admitted that he didn't pay his entire restitution amount and that he bought other things. He bought a house for the defendant. It's interesting. Prior to her arrest, the defendant didn't mind spending his money. She didn't mind that he bought her things when they were together. Well, now she wants to use that to make it look like he's a horrible person. She loved the lifestyle. Should he have paid the victims first? Absolutely. He made an effort with what he thought was his loving wife's help. He truly thought he was getting off probation. You saw not one, but 2 checks for the entire amount of his probation in evidence. He hired attorneys. Everyone was in agreement. The motion in order was prepared by his attorney, Michael Enton, but the defendant prevented him from getting off probation. His loving wife spent his money, assisted by her best friend's husband, Eric Tall, taking $140,000 more of Michael Dippolito's money. And she came up with a story, told him not to go to the police, and now he's still on probation till year 2032. If he was off probation, what would she have done? If he was off probation, he couldn't go back to jail. She would have had to have stayed married to him. She couldn't get the house. Now, what Mike Dippolito told you that happened during his marriage to the defendant was corroborated by evidence in this case and other testimony. The attempts to have his probation violated set him up for possession of drugs or dealing drugs. Both Mike and Mohammed say that they didn't even know each other. She called the police. Mohammed's testimony was she called the police on him a couple of times to catch him selling drugs, to find drugs on him. Drugs were planted in the gas tank. It was cocaine and Xanax. Mohammed's testimony, as he's sitting across from her, looking at her at the table, think about how he acted. Think about his demeanor on that day when you watch that video. He looks down several times. They were friends. They were lovers for years. He doesn't want to say anything bad about her. He even tries to minimize her role at times, tries to protect her. He's uncomfortable about talking about their sexual relationship. This isn't a guy that was out to get her. He told you on more than one occasion he didn't even want her to be arrested. He just didn't want someone to get killed. He wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing someone could get killed. He didn't want to be put in the position that he was in. And he didn't even want to testify when he was sitting there. But what did he tell you? He told you that she said to her she wanted the title to the house in her name, that they were getting it switched over to her name, that he, Mike Dippolito, was being convinced to switch it over to her name. She couldn't pay back the money she stole. She needed it quick. He said he just wanted to help her without getting her in trouble. He didn't think that it was going to get that far. Now, if this was a reality stunt, I want you to ask yourself this. Why did Mohammed Shihada say that he called the detectives and got into a heated argument with them about the video being placed on YouTube when he saw it on the internet? If this was a reality stunt, does that make any sense to you? Why would he be so scared for his life and worried about being called a snitch by Larry Coe and the guys from Riviera Beach if this was a reality stunt? He said he didn't even know he was being videotaped and was surprised to see that video on the internet. He didn't know he was being followed and that he was under surveillance. He said he told her on more than one occasion, just divorce your husband. He tried to convince her, and she never, ever changed her mind after she met that hitman. And he said the only remorse that she ever showed was showing the guys from Riviera Beach her house. He said it was going to get to the next level if he didn't stop it. He said he didn't know what the officers were planning. And Officer Wilson's testimony that she tried to pay him. She tried to pay him to arrest her husband. She told him about an incident. The defendant told Officer Wilson about an incident in West Palm Beach where she had tried to plant drugs, or she had had drugs planted in the vehicle, and the officers never found the drugs. And yes, that conversation occurred before the incident at City Place. What does that tell you? Remember the incident in Manalapan on March 16th of 2009, where the officers did not find the cocaine and Xanax that were planted in the gas tank of Mike Dippolito's vehicle? And Officer Wilson, he didn't make a report at the time when he had that contact with the defendant. He didn't know the significance of what she was doing, not until after she was arrested. Another thing Mohammed tells you is that she did ask him for $200,000. $200,000. Right around the same number of the restitution money that was taken. And Mohammed said, do you remember what he said about Larry Coe? Larry is a really bad person who lives in Riviera Beach. He gets younger kids under the age of 18 to kill and rob.
I will object, that's not supported by the
Ladies and gentlemen, when I get an objection like that, I'll sustain it, but with the caveat that ultimately you all are the ones to decide whether or not it was in evidence or not. So with that caveat, I'll sustain the objection.
Well, you can rely on your memory from the testimony. Larry's number, he gave that to you, as did Sergeant James Eddy. Remember? That shows up on the defendant's phone. She called him 13 times. She called Larry Coe from Riviera Beach. The defendant said, why can't I use your gun to do it? And then the gun was missing from his glove box. He made her give it back to her. And that is how he knew that she was serious. And he told you, I didn't get any money. I haven't had any deals from any stories, although that they've been offered to me. The other thing that's interesting that you see in the evidence that was presented during the course of the trial is looking at the probation officer's file. Officer Banks, all those records are in evidence. The day after the West Palm Beach incident, on March 29th of 2009, there's an anonymous call placed to the defendant's probation officer telling him about the victim, Mike Dippolito, being found with drugs at City Place. Ask yourself this, who would know about that? Who would know about that incident except for the officers and the defendant? And at this point, she'd only been married to Mike Dippolito for a little over a month. She wanted him arrested. She wanted him out of her life. And on March 16th of 2009, that incident at the Manalapan, with the Manalapan Police Department at the Ritz-Carlton, the defendant had already had $100,000. She had the $100,000 from the victim. The last check was written on March 6th of 2009. The house at that time was in both of their names. She was sleeping with Mohammed. She was cheating and lying to her husband. She bought Mohammed a Range Rover 2 days after the incident in Manalapan, and she spent almost $40,000 of her husband's restitution money on that Range Rover for Mohammed. Little did Mike Dippolito know, she was using his money to have him arrested, paying Mohammed with a car to help her. Think about the testimony that Mike Dippolito gave. The defense wanted you to believe that this incident down at the courthouse in Miami was some bizarre, ridiculous thing. How could Mike Dippolito even believe that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, he believed it because he trusted his wife. She told him that she had found him a lawyer, that worked out of Miami, and that she was trying to help him. He said, remember in court, what did he have to lose? He didn't have to pay for anything. She was trying to help him out, and if he got closer to his goal, if he got administrative probation, he'd be able to travel for work and travel with his wife. Why would he have thought his wife would be behind that incident? She helped him write a letter to the judge. His wife then asked the man that she was having an affair with, Mike Stanley, to spoof a call to Mike Dippolito and use the courthouse number in Miami. His wife asked Mike Stanley to pretend that he was Richard the lawyer. His wife asked Sergio to play the part of Richard's paralegal. Shows you the great lengths that the defendant will go to in order to get what she wants. Deceitful, scheming, conniving, manipulative. When she says she's gonna do something, she's gonna do it. You should have no doubt about that. When she's first questioned by the police, right when she gets to the police station, she didn't know that they had a video of her and Mohammed in the car. Now remember what Detective Moreno said yesterday, that Mohammed was a confidential informant. That meant he was kept anonymous in all of their reports, and they didn't mention him by name until after the case came to the state attorney's office. She didn't know she was caught on tape handing Mohammed $1,200 and a picture of her husband and their house. She didn't know that Mohammed had turned her in. She didn't know that their phone calls were recorded. She didn't know that her entire conversation with Woody Jean was on video. What she thought when she first came to the police station was that Woody Jean had been caught running from the scene. That's why she says she doesn't know him 3 times when they bring him into the interview room. That's why she tells Ramsey, Sergeant Ramsey, Detective Yopes, and Detective McDevitt all about those prior incidents. Then she's confronted by the truth. Woody Jean's an undercover officer. They played the tape. They showed her the photos. She doesn't know what to say. She's caught off guard. She knows she's caught. She says she didn't do it. And when she calls the defendant, and when she calls Mike Dippolito from jail, he asks her, "Why would you meet a black man in a parking lot?" Silence. She has no answer. Her husband tells her he knows she gave someone $1,200. What is her response? "I didn't give anyone anything. They made that up." She keeps telling Mike, "I didn't do it. I didn't say it." She even tells the officers, "I didn't give anyone $1,200. I didn't give any money. I didn't do anything." Use your reason and common sense, ladies and gentlemen. After she's placed in handcuffs, she's under arrest, she's taken to the Palm Beach County Jail. Don't you think that she would have said to Mike Dippolito in that phone call, "This is all your fault. This is your reality TV stunt. You have to tell them the truth. You have to tell them this is a prank. Tell them you're in on it. Tell them Mohammed was kidding. Tell them something. Call Mohammed." Don't you think that's what she would have said in that jail call? What does she do? She never even calls Mohammed from jail. She never tells her mom. She never once says, "Mom, this is a reality show stunt. Mike wanted to be famous and get on television. This went too far. I wasn't supposed to get arrested." Instead, what does she say? "Call Mike in New York. He's in my house. The title of that house is in my name." And why is that important, ladies and gentlemen? Because she convinced Mike Dippolito, with the help of Mike Stanley, to sign that house over to her. That's what she's concerned about. That is what this is all about. And what's interesting is she says to Mike Dippolito, "I can't believe that you have the audacity to talk to me about the house when I'm sitting here rotting in jail." And what's the first thing that she says on that first phone call to her mom? "He's in my house. That's my house. The title's in my name." She had plotted with Mike Stanley so that they could be together. The text messages from the defendant is, "All I think about is you, and to have you. And to have that, I have to put him away. We have accomplished one huge goal this week, and that's the house. I just need you to help me figure out the rest for next week." She sends that on July 31st of 2009. What happens the next week? Mike Dippolito is supposed to be murdered. She said, "I trust you like I've never trusted anyone. Keep it together. We have to pep each other." She calls Mike Stanley before she meets with Mohammed on August 1st of 2009. It's in the phone records. She calls Mike Stanley after she meets with Mohammed at the Mobil gas station on August 1st of 2009. She calls Mike Stanley before she meets with the hitman, Woody Jean, on August 3rd of 2009. She calls Mike Stanley right after she meets with the hitman on August 3rd of 2009. And on August 4th of 2009, right after Woody Jean calls her to tell her the plan about the next morning, to leave at 6 o'clock the next morning and go to the gym, who do you think she calls? Mike Stanley. Now ask yourselves this question: if Mike Dippolito is the person in this that is in on this reality stunt, as the defense wants you to believe, why isn't she calling him after all of these meetings and after all of these conversations? Why does she call Mike Stanley? It's because Mike Stanley's in on this. This isn't a stunt for reality television. This is murder. Cold-blooded, calculated, premeditated murder. Murder with a firearm, 2 shots to the head, in the home that Mike Dippolito purchased for them. Mohammed said it. She wanted the house and she wanted his money. She didn't want to be married anymore. Let's talk about what evidence we have that corroborates what Mike Dippolito told you. His probation records, the anonymous phone calls to his probation officer, the search of the house and the vehicles. Do you remember those? The checks that he wrote that show up in the defendant's bank records. Eric Tall's checks that show up in Eric Tall's bank records. Mike Enton, his own lawyer, coming in and testifying. The cashier's check from Bank of America that was in the defendant's safe deposit box, and all the other bank records. If you believe what the defense has said about this being a reality show stunt set up by Mike Dippolito, does it make any sense to you, ladies and gentlemen, that the defendant is the one that's on all of the videos? The defendant, it's all about her. He isn't even in the picture. He's embarrassed. What did he say on that call? He looks like a dumbass. If he was in on this, if he knew that this was going to happen, how it was going to happen, and he knew that the cops were going to be there, doesn't make any sense. The defense said that he likes to look good. He had braces. He got liposuction in an effort to make himself look good for the camera. On August 5th of 2009, he told you he still had his braces on. If he knew what was going to happen that morning, that there was this staged crime scene out in front of his house, that this was some big reality show stunt, and that Cops, the television show, was going to be there, wouldn't he have been wide awake? Wouldn't he be undressed? Wouldn't he be camera ready? He had his shirt off. He had bandages on. He was caught by surprise. He was in shock. He even asked what the cameras were doing there. He was devastated. He wasn't acting. If this was all orchestrated by Mike Dippolito, as the defense wants you to believe, and he's lying about everything, then ask yourselves why he didn't lie about the actual crime, the solicitation to commit first-degree murder. Why didn't he say, I overheard a conversation. I saw her drive up to the gas station. Something, somehow. If he is lying and setting her up, wouldn't he actually lie about what she's actually charged with in this case? He doesn't. He tells you what he knows, and he knows nothing about a plot to murder him. If he was in on this was all orchestrated by him, as the defense wants you to believe, why was the defendant so secretive and so sneaky around him? Why on August 1st of 2009, when Mohammed calls her from the Boynton Beach Police Department to set up a meeting at the mobile gas station, does she watch what she says on the phone? Do you remember that call? Mohammed asks her what kind of car she will be driving. She doesn't answer, and she hangs up the phone. And then she immediately sends a text message. Do you remember that text message? And in the text message, she types, Tahoe. Why? If Mike Dippolito is in on this, why does she have to be so secretive in front of her husband? The defense wants you to believe that Mohammed went to the police because she asked him to, because her husband wanted a reality television show. So you'd have to also believe that Mohammed is going to commit a crime for the defendant and for Mike Dippolito. He's going to lie to the police. He's going to have the entire Boynton Beach Police Department in on this. And if he wanted his big break for reality television, wouldn't he have been here live to testify? What about those recordings that you heard, those phone calls? If this was all acting on his part, don't you think he would have put a little more effort into it? Planned it out a little bit better? Maybe not had slurred speech in some of those calls? Enunciated a little bit better? Doesn't make any sense.
Judge, quick question. Sorry to interrupt. Sure.
It doesn't make any sense. He didn't even know that when he was recorded. He thinks he's wired when he was at Chili's. We know that isn't true, but what does it tell you? That they didn't have a secret conversation about their reality show plan at Chili's before she met with the hitman. It didn't happen. It's just convenient for the defendant that that one meeting wasn't taped. The meeting between the defendant and Mohammed that she orchestrated because she didn't want to meet with the hitman alone. Those phone conversations that he didn't know all of them were recorded, that was what really was going on. The defendant was caught in the act of being herself. She wasn't acting. That's who she is. She's like poison candy, attractive on the outside, but deadly on the inside. Do you remember the one phone call on August 3rd of 2009 where the defendant was driving on I-95 and she wants to go see Mohammed face to face? She wants to tell him something. She says she doesn't want to talk to him about it over the phone. He tells her, "You can't come to my house." She pulls over on the side of I-95 to talk to him. Remember, she doesn't want to talk to him in her car. She gets out of her car on the side of I-95 near the airport. She steps out of the car, and Mohammed says, "Make sure you aren't around anybody when you talk about this." And this is what she tells Mohammed, that he could get money from Mike Dippolito if Mike Dippolito was killed at the bank on August 5th. And why do you think that she didn't want to be in the car? That Tahoe. She didn't want to be in the Tahoe speaking on the phone to Mohammed about killing her husband. Why do you think that is? What do you know about the Tahoe? What did you learn about that Tahoe during the course of this trial? There were several reports to the police that Mike Dippolito was selling steroids, was selling drugs out of that Tahoe. The defendant's worried. She's driving the Tahoe. What if the police are listening to her conversations? Why would it matter if this was a reality show stunt? Seems that she would want everything to be recorded. Part of the plan, part of the stunt. This trial's not about Mike Dippolito. It's not about Sergeant Paul Sheridan. It's not about Mohammed Shihada. It's not about the television show Cops. And it's not about any of the detectives at the Boynton Beach Police Department. This trial's about the defendant and her actions and what she did. Now, do you remember back in jury selection where you said you can listen to the evidence and the facts and decide your verdict based upon what you hear in the courtroom? And I think I even told you might not like some of the witnesses in this case. You might not invite them to dinner. You might not want them to date your friend or your daughter. You might not agree with their lifestyle. But what you need to do is evaluate their testimony and look at it in relation to the other facts and evidence in this case. And your verdict cannot be based upon whether or not you like a witness. The judge did not say that in order to find the defendant guilty, you have to like a witness. And was Mohammed Shihada a perfect witness? No. Was he rehearsed? No. Was he perfect on his timeline? No. But was he consistent? Yes. About the facts of this case? And was it supported by the other evidence in this case? Absolutely it was. What he said was corroborated by the other evidence in the case. He told you about Larry and the guys in Riviera Beach. He told you how bad they were. Whose phone number does the defendant call? Larry Coe. Larry Coe, who hangs out at Urban Wear in Riviera Beach. Exactly what Mohammed said. And why? Why does the defendant call Larry Coe? Because back in April, she was trying to have her husband killed. How did Mohammed know about the surveillance cameras that she brags about? Remember, he didn't even know where she lived. He knows because Larry said that he and the guys drove to her house. Remember the meeting at the mobile gas station on that video? Mohammed mentions Larry specifically and says, "You were going to offer them my Range Rover." It all fits. It all makes sense. The evidence is there. She won't stop until she gets what she wants. She doesn't care if she hurts, and she doesn't care who else she gets to commit a crime. Now let's talk about the funeral searches. Funeral searches that show up on the defendant's computer. Both the state's expert, Detective Pete McGovern, and the defense experts say that there were 16 minutes of searches on August 3rd of 2009. The defendant's mom testified that a cremation service of Palm Beach was the place that they chose for her grandfather. and that the defendant researched funeral homes and prices. What did the defense expert tell you? That the funeral home, cremation service of the Palm Beaches, was not even found as a specific website search on the defendant's computer. And there was not a specific website search for prices for a cremation services of the Palm Beaches. Contradicts the testimony that the defendant's mother gave here in court. And you can look at her phone records. On August 3rd of 2009, there are no calls from the defendant after the funeral search from the defendant to her mother to explain what she found, to talk about those funeral searches, to give her the prices. And on August 4th of 2009, there's no call between the defendant and her mother for more than a minute and 20 seconds. This is the same woman, ladies and gentlemen, remember, who helped the defendant get Sergio so that they could trick Mike Dippolito. She didn't want to answer my questions about the calls because she didn't want to lie. And the defendant, the reason she searched funeral homes on that day and how to have a meaningful memorial service was because the defendant was preparing to be a grieving widow. The Dalia Dippolito that you met during the course of this trial is not the granddaughter who's going to be researching funeral homes to help out her mother. She's the person who's going to give a picture of her grandfather to the hitman, but make sure he gets cut out of it first. Let's talk about what the defendant was doing on August 3rd of 2009 when those funeral searches were done. Here's a timeline in front of you for August 3rd of 2009. Gives you an overview of what the defendant was doing that day. 7:36 in the morning, she talks to Mike Stanley for 41 minutes. Mike Stanley calls her, then she calls him back at 8:32. Then she speaks to him for 8 minutes. And during that phone call, she gets a text from her husband, Mike Dippolito. And she texts Mike Dippolito back while she's still on the phone with Mike Stanley. And she says, love you. Then she calls Mike Stanley again at 9:23 a.m. 9:55 a.m., she gets a text from a friend. At 9:57, another text from a friend. That text message is in evidence. And the text message says, what are you doing this week? Are you available any days? And at 9:58, the defendant texts the number 561-251-0549 back and says, I'm only available Thursday and Friday. And why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Monday, August 3rd, she knew the hitman was coming. She wanted it done that week. Remember, she said she wanted it done by Wednesday. So of course, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of that week, she's not going to be available. She calls Mike Stanley again at 10:02. She talks to Mohammed. She texts Mike Stanley. Defendant calls Mohammed at 11:31. We listened to some of these calls during the day. And the call from Woody Jean, the first call from Woody Jean is at 2:47 p.m. That's an hour before she does this funeral home search. She's at home, she's waiting for the hitman to come up from Miami. And after she gets a call from him, she then calls Mohammed, remember? Remember that phone call about being robbed, about the key to her house in a panic? That's what she's doing at 2:57 to 3:07. And then at 3:08, she calls Mike Stanley and she speaks to him until 3:36. That at some point in there, she has another phone conversation with Mohammed, and she's using her two phones. And then, right after that, 10 minutes later, the defense wants you to believe that she's a loving granddaughter, worried about her grandfather. Not at all, ladies and gentlemen. She's planning her husband's murder. This is the day that it went down. After that search, 4:02, at 4:07, what does she do? She calls Mike Stanley. Then she talks to Mohammed. Then she calls the hitman. Then Mike Stanley calls her back. Then she calls the hitman. Then Mohammed calls her. Then she calls Mike Stanley. Then Mohammed calls her back. Then the hitman calls her. Then the defendant calls Mohammed again. Defendant then calls, 504. A 67-second call to her husband. Then the hitman calls her. Then she calls Mohammed. Then the hitman calls her again. She calls Mike Stanley. Hitman calls her again. Then she calls Mike Stanley. Then she calls the hitman. Then she meets the hitman in the parking lot. That's the way August 3rd went, ladies and gentlemen. She wanted that house all to herself. She wanted it free and clear with no mortgage. And on that jail call, when Mike Dippolito brings up the house to her, the light bulb finally went off in his head. He says, "Oh, the house that you stole from me?" And what does she say to him? I said earlier, how can you be thinking about that? I'm sitting here rotting. Truly amazing. The deception, the manipulation, the lies, and the deceit. And if he's so controlling as the defense wants to paint him, he's the one that looks foolish. Why is he not a part of this stunt? Look what his wife's doing to him. He has no role. He's not even in the spotlight. And why does she lie about Mohammed being her cousin to the hitman? Do you remember that? What's the significance of that? She lies because she's trying to convince the hitman that Mohammed is okay. The hitman that he has nothing to worry about. Mohammed won't snitch on them. She wants the hitman to believe her, to trust her, to kill her husband. She doesn't want him to back out because she doesn't trust the situation or because she doesn't trust Mohammed. And what do they say? Blood is thicker than water. She tells Woody John that Mohammed is her cousin, that he's a blood relative. That way he'd trust him more. Now you heard a little bit about jurisdiction from the officers. They explained what jurisdiction was. And do you remember the first officer that talked about jurisdiction was Officer Wilson? And he told you that in his conversation with the defendant, he told her that he could not handle any issue that she had regarding domestic abuse or domestic violence because she lived in Boynton Beach. And that was where she had said it happened. And the defendant told him that her husband would come up to Palm Beach Gardens and that Officer Wilson could then find him with drugs in his car. And that's because Officer Wilson's jurisdiction is Palm Beach Gardens. Defendant understands police officer jurisdiction. That is why the Manalapan Police Department is called when they are at the Ritz-Carlton in Manalapan. That's why the West Palm Beach Police Department is called the incident at City Place in West Palm Beach. That's why Boynton Beach Police Department is called about the note. So ask yourselves this question. If the defendant knew that Officer Woody John was an undercover officer, and that's based on what Mr. Salnick's telling you, and not one in a reality stunt, why does she try so hard to try to convince him to go to the bank in Boca Raton where her husband will be on Wednesday morning? And you heard, Boca Raton, that Bank of America would be out of the jurisdiction of the Boynton Beach Police Department. All this planning, all this acting by Mohammed and her would be for nothing. Her story isn't reasonable. It doesn't make sense. It isn't logical, and all of the evidence says it isn't true. She wanted to hire the hitman to kill Mike Dippolito in Boca Raton when he had $10,000 on him. She wanted Mike Dippolito to finance his own murder. And you remember, after August 1st of 2009, a couple weeks ago, we looked at her bank records. How much money did she have in her account on that day? She was overdrawn. She couldn't even pay to kill her husband. She took a risk in taking the jewelry to the gym on August 5th of 2009 because maybe her car wouldn't get broken into on that day. She knew it was sure to get stolen if she left it at her house by the hitman because he said he would make it look like a robbery gone bad. In robbery, things are taken. She didn't want her jewelry to get taken. But if you think about the defense's story, that Mike Dippolito is in on this, follow that story and think about it logically. She brags about her surveillance cameras. her motion detectors, her alarm system, the very same system that the guys in Riviera Beach are scared of. She tells the police even, my husband would never answer the door for someone he doesn't know. So why would she take her jewelry to the gym with her? Why would she leave a $20,000 ring, a $2,000 purse, and other expensive David Yurman jewelry, over $25,000 worth of jewelry in the back of her car, in the parking lot of LA Fitness, where they have signs that say, do not leave valuables in the car? And Mike Dippolito testified to all the times that they'd seen broken glass in that parking lot, where they knew the cars had been burglarized. He said she would always just take an iPod and a towel. Not this time. Not on this day. If Mike Dippolito was in on this reality stunt, and he's at home, secure in their house, she would know that then the only people coming to her house were gonna be the police that day, was gonna be Woody Jean and the other officers. Because remember, this is all a reality stunt, and she knew all about it. That's what they're saying. Wouldn't her house be the safest place to leave her jewelry? Wouldn't it be the safest place to leave her Prada purse at home with her husband? But she doesn't. She takes it to the gym with her. And what does that tell you? That this wasn't a reality stunt. Her husband wasn't in on it. She thought that the hitman was going to come to the house, kill her husband, and she didn't want her precious jewelry and items taken that day. She remembered what the hitman had said. A robbery gone bad. She didn't want those items that he would have to take to be hers. And don't forget the call to Mohammed right after Woody Jean calls her on 8/3 for the first time. And what she's worried about, that key floating to her house, getting robbed. She calls Mohammed freaking out. And they tell you Mohammed didn't know about that key, that Woody Jean was gonna ask for that key. That was a last minute addition. He couldn't have been part of any reality stunt. And if it was, this would all have to be made up. The key to the house wouldn't even have been an issue if this was a reality stunt. But it wasn't. It's true life. That was true emotions on that tape. That is how the defendant felt. She didn't want to get robbed when her husband got killed. She's worried about that purse. She even asked detectives on the ride to the police station about her purse. She doesn't want them to see what's inside. Cayman Islands receipt that's found in her safe deposit box. Why so deceitful about this restitution money? She goes to such great lengths to manipulate Mike Dippolito to even create a fake document. She doesn't even put the right date on it because she created this fake receipt on March 23rd of 2009. Do you remember the internet search that Detective Pete McGovern talked about? What time is it in the Cayman Islands? On March 23rd of 2009. The date of the fax from Cayman National Bank, March 23rd of 2009, 2:37 p.m. She hadn't even received all of the money from Mike Dippolito on the date that she put on this receipt, March 3rd of 2009, by 3 o'clock on that day. She deposited $47,000 from Mike Dippolito after the date and time on this document. And on her phone records, there's calls to the Cayman National Bank on March 23rd of 2009. The defense mentioned a lot about Sergeant Paul Sheridan. Did he ham it up for the cameras a bit? Maybe. 2 days after the crime was committed. And when he confronts the defendant, she says she didn't do it. But everything was caught on tape. And does he tell her the entire truth about the waiver? No, he doesn't. He tells her, this is so you can be videotaped. And was it misleading? Absolutely it was. But ask yourself this question. If this was a reality show stunt, why did the defendant say she didn't want to be videotaped? Think about this case using your common sense. At the time of her arrest, she doesn't know what evidence that they had. It probably hasn't hit her that Mohammed has turned her in. You can see how she is trying to plan to see if she's a suspect. She's defensive. Remember the conversation in the car ride with Detective Yopes and Detective McDevitt? She asked them minutes after she has learned that her husband has been killed. Remember, she's crying a little bit, and then it's dead silent, and out of nowhere she says, "How did you get my number?" This is a reality show stunt. Muhammad's in on it, as they claim. Of course she's gonna know how the police had her number. How did you get my number? Is that what a grieving widow would be asking? Or is it the question of a cold-blooded person who has just hired a hitman to kill her husband? Someone with a guilty conscience. She's worried that they are onto her. And then Sergeant Sheridan starts to talk to her. She tells Sergeant Sheridan that she's been married for almost a year. She wants to make it look longer, doesn't she? That would probably seem less suspicious, she thinks. She's been married for just 6 months. She got married on February 2nd of 2009. She tells Muhammad they will never be able to point a finger at me. She has an alibi. The gym, people see her. There's a record of her being there. But she starts to get suspicious of the cops during her interview. Her husband, he would never answer the door. There's cameras, she says. He would only answer for his probation officer or someone that he knows. And her plan with Witty Jean, if you remember, was that Mike Dippolito would take the dogs for a walk between 6:30 and 7, and he would leave the door unlocked. She expected to come home from the gym on that day and find the dead body of Mike Dippolito in her house. Remember Witty Jean said, "You're gonna find two things when you come home from the gym, his dead body or nothing." The way it went down on August 5th of 2009 was not the way that the defendant had planned. If this was a reality show stunt, where was the crying? Where was the playing of the grieving widow during the interview at the police department? She would have acted differently at the police station. She never thought that they would suspect her, because she can manipulate anyone, especially men. She thought that she could just bat her eyelashes at them like she did at Witty Jean in the car and convince them. She never imagined it wouldn't work. She couldn't believe they were pointing the finger at her. She was outraged that they were treating her like a criminal. She never planned for this scenario. You see her reaction when Jean comes into the room? She denies knowing him. And when she's told she's being arrested by Sergeant Sheridan, he asks her if she thinks he made it up. She shakes her head. No. When he tells her that her husband is alive, what is her reaction? Oh, thank God. It isn't, I know. It's thank God. It's the response of someone who's caught, not the response of somebody who's on a reality show stunt. She thought she was going to be coming home to a dead body, and she thought that she would have more time to plan her reaction, that she would be able to call the police in hysterics from her home. She never expected for her reaction to be caught on tape. The camera on Sergeant Ramsey showing no tears, showing her reaction in her eyes before he even says the word killed. She didn't know about the staged crime scene. Muhammad didn't know about it. Witty Jean didn't tell the defendant about it. And if she didn't know about the staged crime scene, when she was called from her house to come home from the gym unexpectedly, if this was a reality show stunt, when she was told by Sergeant Ramsey that her husband had been killed, her real reaction would have been, what do you mean? How was he killed? This was a stunt. He can't really be dead. Where's the undercover officer? What's going on? That is what her response would have been. In order to believe the entire story from Mr. Salnick about this being a reality show stunt, her and Mike Dippolito have to have known about that staged crime scene. They would have had to have been in on everything, and that's not what the evidence showed. It is impossible. Go back and look again at those pictures. It looks real. It's believable. That's what the Boynton Beach Police Department plan was. Make it look real. Catch her reaction. And her reaction was not one of a person trying to get on a reality show. Her reaction was of a person who was doing everything she could to convince the officers that she was a grieving widow, that she was devastated by the news. Do you remember what she said to Mike Dippolito in the jail call? She said, "Do you know how I was when they told me what happened to you?" She's trying to convince him that she acted like the devastated, grieving widow. And in order to believe Mr. Salnick's story, everyone's testimony in this case has to be a lie. Look at the phone records for August 5th of 2009. There are no calls or no texts from Mike Dippolito telling the defendant about the staged crime scene. All she can think about on that day is getting to Mike Dippolito, manipulating him, telling him lies, convincing him she loves him. She didn't do it. If she can convince him of that, then they can't charge her. That is why she says, "Come here." That is why she calls him from jail. She asked the officers if she can talk to Mike Dippolito. She says she wanted to tell him her side of the story. And sweetly, persistently, and often crudely, she professes her love for Mike Stanley, the man she ended her relationship with, for Mike Dippolito. The defendant made it very clear to Mike Stanley that the only way she could be with him is if Mike is out of the picture. She told Woody Jean she would be very happy if Mike was out of the picture. And she didn't do it herself because, as his wife, she knew that she would be the first person that the police look at. So she carefully planned her alibi, what she would say, and where she would be. The plot to kill Mike Dippolito was real. The defendant knew it was real. If you go with the defendant's version of events, the plan for them to become famous, be on reality television, then you have to also believe that she was covering for Mike Dippolito, that she didn't tell anybody about what he had planned, that she took the fall for him so that he wouldn't be arrested. Think about it. She didn't tell anybody about this plan on that day. Look in the probation file. There's not one single anonymous call to probation after the defendant was arrested. No more run-ins with the police for Mike Dippolito. His life is back to being calm. The defendant who tried so hard to have Mike Dippolito's probation violated, to have him arrested, you have to believe, if you want to believe Mr. Salnick's story, that the defendant is going to take the charges on herself. She's going to cover for Mike Dippolito and for Mohammed. She's going to cover for Mike Dippolito, the man she cheated on with not only one person, but two. The man she told Mike Stanley she hated. The man she told Mohammed she didn't want to be married to anymore. The man she told Mohammed that she just wanted his house. The simplest answer is the right answer, ladies and gentlemen. If Mike Dippolito knew about the staged crime scene and what was happening that morning, again, why was he not awake? Why wasn't he dressed? This was a reality show stunt. He would have been at his best on that day. And you heard testimony about the defendant and all of her interactions with many of these witnesses in this case. Mike Enton, Todd Server, Officer Gilbert. They all say the defendant, she's the one in charge. She was always the one in charge. Text messages with Mike Stanley. Clearly, she tells him what to do, what to say, who to call, when to fly down, and where to stay. Mike Dippolito, clearly she was in control of him. You heard that on that phone call. You heard that when she called him from jail. The Dalia Dippolito prior to August 5th of 2009, you heard all about her. You learned all about her. You got to know her through text messages, through phone calls, and through those videos. She's a very different Dalia Dippolito than on the interview at the police station. This is a girl who wasn't controlled by anybody. She did exactly what she wanted. She could get her husband to do anything, just like Mohammed said. Her husband, that she was sleeping with two other men right under his nose. Her husband who thought she was selling real estate in Aventura. That's what she told him. You saw the records, one commission for the sale of one house, and it was his. He didn't know that she was off with Mohammed. He didn't know that she was buying Mohammed a Range Rover with his money. He didn't know that she was at the Marriott Hotel with Mike Stanley. He didn't know that she had a safe deposit box that she hid from him, with bank statements that she kept at her mom's house. She did what she wanted, when she wanted. Why won't Mohammed tell the guys in Riviera Beach, tell anyone who the guys in Riviera Beach really were? You heard that they were bad guys. They threatened him, and he knew what they were capable of. The same guy, Larry Coe, whose number the defendant calls on 13 times on April 2nd. And what's significant about April 2nd? Well, that's the day after the restitution issue happened with Mike Enton and Eric Tall down in Fort Lauderdale. And Mike Dippolito had accused the defendant of stealing his money. The surveillance cameras at Mike Dippolito's house and Mohammed's intervention saved his life. Do you remember the defense saying in opening that Mohammed, it was his job to put this plan in motion? If he's in on this, again, why didn't she call him from jail? Why didn't she call him and tell him to help her out? She got arrested. It was all a big prank. She didn't because it wasn't a stunt. She didn't call Mohammed from jail to talk to him because she knew those calls were recorded. And after her arrest, she figured out Mohammed's the one that turned her in. An interesting question. Why would Mohammed go to the Boynton Beach Police Department on July 31st of 2009, late at night, and tell them about a girl named Delilah? He doesn't even call her by her correct name. Doesn't know where she lives, doesn't know who she's married to. All he knows is that she wants to have her husband killed. He takes him around in the car to try to find her, Mohammed, until she shows up and they hear the conversation. Does that make sense to you? If he's behind this whole thing, he goes in and can't even give the information that they need to do an investigation. The defense attorney mentioned that I never asked Mohammed questions about reality television. Now you need to rely on your memories about whether that happened or not. And I asked him if he was trying to help anybody get famous or help Mike Dippolito get famous, or if he was trying to become famous. But what's more important is his testimony was taken on March 7th of 2009. It was right there on the screen. It's almost 2 months prior to this trial. Use your common sense when evaluating that testimony and thinking about that. There's no evidence of a reality show stunt. And is it sheer coincidence that there's no evidence ever caught by the Boynton Beach Police Department that this was a reality show stunt? All evidence is to the contrary. She wants Mike to come see her at the jail in person. She knows the calls are reported, and she's smart enough not to say anything that's going to incriminate her. She tries to even manipulate the officers during the interview. Did you see how she acted there? And let's think back to her safe deposit box, where this was found, where evidence of Mike Dippolito's bank records, the defendant's bank records with all of the money that Mike Dippolito had given her, that statement, and the bank envelopes that Mike Dippolito had given her during the course of the exchange regarding the restitution. Think about the things that she saved at her mom's house, the $5,000 receipt that Mike Dippolito had used to get plastic surgery, showing that he had plastic surgery, the bank records that were at her mom's house. Think of all the items that she saved, that she hid from the defendant. Evidence to use against her husband to show that he wasn't paying his restitution. And think about that and ask yourselves why she didn't save any of the evidence of this reality show stunt in her safe deposit box. She denies what's in the box on the phone when confronted by her husband. She says it's just papers. She tells Mike Stanley to call probation and tell them that Mike Dippolito was at a Marlins game, that he went out of county. She does that in an effort to try to get Mike Dippolito's probation revoked or violated. But she leaves out the fact in those text messages to Mike Stanley that Mike Dippolito took her entire family, her sick grandfather. She leaves out the fact that Mike Dippolito paid over $3,000 for a suite so that her whole family would have a nice time at a baseball game. You saw the pictures. If Mike Dippolito is so threatening to her family, why would the defendant want her family to be around them? Didn't look like it from the pictures. The baseball game that he takes her family to, she tries to use against him to have his probation violated. It's truly amazing what she will do to get what she wants. Thank you. And Mike Dippolito was calm. Much was made about that. He was calm because he was in shock that his bride of 6 months, who he was totally in love with, he couldn't believe what she had done to him. He was blinded by love. In this case, his love made him blind, deaf, and dumb. In the videos you saw of the defendant in Mohammed and the defendant in Woody Jean, she's caught in the act of being herself. She's not acting. It's not a stunt. It wasn't to gain attention. It was real. It was what she wanted. She told Officer Jean how to hunt her husband down and get the $10,000 from him. Because she didn't have any money on her account. It was a creative way to pay the hitman and finance her husband's murder. If this is a reality stunt, ask yourself these questions. Why would she be evasive with Officer Jean in the car? If this is a stunt and she knows she's going to be taped and she's acting, she's going to be over the top, she's going to say exactly what she wants and she's not going to try to hide anything. Instead, she's cautious, she's evasive. She wants to be sure he isn't a police officer. She wants to be sure she doesn't get caught. Why does she want Mohammed to wipe her prints off the pictures? She wants to be sure she doesn't get caught. She said she's not going to go out of town. That looks obvious because she wants to be sure she doesn't get caught. She tells Mohammed she doesn't want to be talking details over the phone because she wants to be sure that she doesn't get caught. Why was she concerned that she'd be in the house with the hitman when he came? She wanted an alibi because she wants to be sure that she doesn't get caught. Why would she mention the cameras and the motion detectors to the hitman? Because she wants to be sure that she doesn't get caught and she doesn't have an issue. Why do her text messages change with Mike Stanley after she meets Mohammed at the gas station? She never mentions her husband or violating his probation again, and that's because she wants to be sure she doesn't get caught. In the conversation that she has with Mohammed about the hitman calling, when he calls, if I'm around people, I'm gonna say, yeah, I pulled up some listings for you. How does that fit into her scenario if her husband's in on it and if this is a reality show plot? She can talk in front of her husband, can't she? It's the behavior of someone who's doing something wrong, paranoid because they're committing a crime. She even tells Mohammed, give me the shit I paid for and I will do it myself, because she's so upset that the hitman's asking her for extra money and a key to her house. And when she calls from jail and she speaks to the defendant, she speaks to Mike Dippolito, why would she have to convince him that she loved him, that she was a dutiful wife if they were in on this together? And why does she ask Detective Yopes, what does the black guy look that was seen running from the scene? If this is a reality show stunt, she doesn't want to get caught, and that's why she asks. When she's in the car with Detective Yopes, she's saying all of these things about her husband, and she talks about how he's shady and shady business dealings and things like that. And she says, when I tell you, I don't get in trouble or anything like that, do I? Yet she wants you to believe that this was all a setup, a prank on the police. The evidence against the defendant is overwhelming. She's shameless about the way that she uses her sexual power to get what she wants. She has no guilt, no remorse, no concern for the safety of others. She fakes being a victim to manipulate Mohammed. She doesn't care who she lies to or who she manipulates. She intentionally creates acts of harassment against herself, scheming, devious, deceptive, manipulative. At one point, Mohammed says, "Why did I listen to you? Why did I get myself involved with you?" Do you remember that? She says, "Whatever, I love you too. You know I love you, and I've loved you forever." Mike Dippolito did tell you about the $191,000 and the wire and the lies and the deviousness and the deception, and she even accused Mike Enton, his lawyer, of stealing that $191,000. Mike Enton asked for a document to help track the wire. He never got it. Why does she want to know, again, what the black guy looked like? Why does she ask that? She's worried they will catch the hitman. She's worried that she might have issues. That's when she starts to tell the detectives about all the incidents that have happened to her, to get the suspicion off of her. She doesn't want to get caught. She even mentions a call that she got from the Boynton Beach Police Department. Did you hear her on the tape? She said the call was spoofed. How would she know that? Unless it was one of her friends spoofing the call, helping her out, trying to make it look like she is a victim of harassment. She says Mike Dippolito owed his business partner $40,000, and that's the same amount that appeared on the note. And when she's talking about what her husband did, what is she worried about when she's telling him about shady stuff with her husband? She's thinking she doesn't want to get into trouble. She's ready to throw her dead husband under the bus to protect herself. She blamed him from the moment Sergeant Ramsey talked to her. He said, does your husband have any enemies? She said he's on probation. She blamed him and his associates, and now she comes into court and is blaming him again, that this is all his idea. This is a woman who's so determined to violate his probation. She tried so many times that now they want you to believe that she's going to cover for him and not tell the police the truth, that they're not together. Please. It doesn't make sense. She would have no problem blaming him that day at the police department if it was true. And if they're both in on it, why would she portray him so poorly, so bad to the police department? This is their big statement. This is their big break. She tells everybody he's a crack addict. He's an alcoholic. Shady business dealings. He's got mob ties. He's a criminal. Certainly with that information, all of the producers from every major network would jump on the opportunity to have Mike Dippolito as their reality star, wouldn't they? Sergeant Sheridan tells her to stop acting. The game is up. Shakes her head and she says, "I'm not." She never once tells the detectives this is a reality show stunt. And when Detective Anderson interviews the defendant, he asks her to do some soul searching. Says, "Don't you want to get it off your chest? Tell us why you wanted to have your husband killed." She says, "I didn't do anything." And that's the last thing that she said. We haven't heard anything different. Not once. Not once. There's no denying the evidence in this case. It's overwhelming. There's no denying the truth. She did it, and you know it.
Thank you very much.
We did it. We know it. She did it. We know it.
Win, win, fight, fight. Gee, we hope we look all right. 84, 94. I don't even know the score.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dahlia is such a whore. That's what I thought you were going to say.
You know what? Sure.
That wasn't very nice of me to do. Don't
That's
send your
all right.
mama after me, Dahlia.
We've come up with many songs before. That was a good one.
Yes. I'm just going to put it out on the record. My dog is bigger than you, Dahlia's mom. with shark eyes. Don't come after me.
Dahlia's mom is a Sharknado.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't with that. She's worse than, I think she is worse.
Than a Sharknado.
Well, yes, than that, but I think she's worse than Dahlia. Like,
Just like, I'd rather get hit in the head with a flying shark.
yes, like just a great white, like jaw. Well, some of you are old enough in here to remember the Sticky. I'll go to you. I will digress, not digress, but I'll just go to you. You remember the, I think it was Saturday Night Live. Gabby, maybe you remember, when they would have Jaws knock on the door of the apartment, and she's like, I'm not opening the door, and he's like, Candy Graham.
Yeah.
And he kept he always tries to get her to open the door. And then when she opens the door, of course, then he attacks her. I would close my door over there and have that shark knock on it and open it immediately. No Candy Graham, no roses, nothing. To not have to face that woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because she's horrible. She has no life in her eyes. None. Yes. Yes.
Husband.
Oh my gosh.
It never fails.
Yeah, Lance.
Oh my god.
And Sticky, no, do not buy plane tickets. Not 1, 2, or 3. Like, no. I need a shark launcher.
You could probably fit him in one of those like t-shirt launchers. I'm sure if you get like a sand shark or something, you probably fit in one of those things.
A little baby shark. Nobody say do. What you do?
You already did for me.
I know, but I tried to not say it in the tune. Candy Graham.
Candy Graham. Knock, knock, knock. Housekeeping.
I would say Superman no here.
You want mint on pillow? Housekeeping.
Her soul is. It is. I'm telling you, Haley. Like, her mom, man, we'd come save you from the landfish and from the land shark. I appreciate it. I don't think the tornadoes pass the right direction to throw sharks. Darn it. I mean, because I would throw some sharks at some people through a tornado if I could. Like, I'm not gonna lie about it. Like,
I throw a lot of things at people.
I mean, I would Oprah Winfrey the sharks out of the tornados.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, you get a shark.
You'd be like,
you get a shark.
In the eye of the storm. You'd be like, phew, you get a shark. And phew, you get a shark.
That's what Ash said. I didn't even say that. I didn't even see that before. I would do that. Like, I mean, yeah. Yes, I'm not a G, but I would throw sharks at everyone.
AJ is a straight G. Like, she's a straight OG. Like, I'm not even joking. She plays it off, she's a white cornbread girl, but she's not. She's an OG. She knows like Snoop Dogg songs and stuff. It's insane to me. It blows my mind. She sings them like she is white because she is, and it still blows my mind.
Shark in a big rig. Yeah. Because then you could keep it alive as you're driving down. And then you just open the door and be like, oopsies. Sorry.
My bad.
You denied this yesterday, did she?
What did I deny?
I don't think she did. I think she admitted yesterday that I think I denied it yesterday that I'm not a G. And Gabby said, oh, yes.
I said,
I think
like
she
big
said.
Butts? No, I said I have a big butt.
No.
I said that tonight.
Yes, you did.
Even when I was thin, I had a big butt.
You straight up GAJ.
She is. That's why I always say corn side.
Midwest corn-fed, corn-rolled straight up gangsta.
Yeah,
North
for real.
side.
Yeah. And that's when AJ comes. She just comes in. She's like, I don't give a crap if no one says north side. I'm going to say it because I'm straight G. North side.
That's right. All right. So we're done with all the arguments.
See how she
There'll
just
be-
handled that? She handled that with, like straight G. She's like, all right, moving on.
All right. Moving on. We're done with all the arguments. They're done. I am the OG North Side because there's nobody else up here.
I think the more north than you would be Adair.
Heidel. Adair's definitely north of me, but Heidel is, I think, the most north of me. Other
Nice.
than
Well, the most north than
Jamie.
that. No, the most north than that is obviously Ash.
Well,
She's in
Ash.
Canada.
Yes. Ash is in this country, Jamie is Michigan, so way more north of me. But Ash is the mostest northest of me.
Same.
Oh, Canada.
Oh,
Yeah, Ash is.
Canada.
So Ash can say north side all she wants.
Yeah, but I doubt she ever does.
You're
I try to
going to
tell her.
see us later. You're going to be fine. It might be a little uncomfortable. I don't know. I've never had one of those. But like whoever said, the nurse gets to hold your groin for like 10 minutes afterwards. Just lean into it a little bit, puddle down. Oopsies, sorry.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe the nurse will cup your balls while you're sleeping.
I mean, you never know. It's the Arctic side, bitch.
Arctic side? That's a new one. I
Ash,
love it.
are you on the east coast side of, or the west coast side of Canada?
She used to be on the East Coast side. She used to be the same time as us, but then she moved further north, which now I say that Ash lives in second Canada because she moved further up. So
You're on the
whatever I do.
okay. You're on the
Yeah,
west.
west.
All right. I wondered because I think that's generally the side that speaks French more than the side that's over here. Correct?
No, she
Maybe.
speaks French in general. She could
I
speak
know.
French.
But I think, like, isn't this side of Canada,
We
like
just
the
moved
east
to the west.
side of Canada, more English speaking than I know what I'm trying to say.
I don't.
East side is more French. See, I was backwards.
Oui, oui.
Northwest side?
North
will not
Atlantic,
happen.
west side.
That won't happen when you get a colonoscopy. They will.
West
They're
is
not
more Chinese and English. Really?
Oh,
That's
man, I
cool.
was backwards.
Ho, ho, ho.
Unless Canada's east and west is backwards to ours.
And just like, wait, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So does that mean up in Canada where Ash lives, righty is loosey and lefty is tighty? Like,
The water
is it
circles the drain
backwards?
the other way.
She's like,
See,
wait,
Sticky.
Do they walk
Don't-
down the street backwards? They didn't just like crisscross thing?
Sticky, if you want to see what happens and catch the conclusion, we will be doing that on Thursday. We're wrapping this sucker up. So that's
Backwards.
Japan. Oh, I thought that was like down somewhere by the equator. Yeah, so there is a
Equator.
left and right. Equator. The equator.
Down by the equator. Hashtag Atlantic side.
Southern hemisphere. See, whatever's.
Oh my god, I can't. Ash. Same. Same. It's the best. I love it. I love it here.
Me too.
It's the best. We just have a great time.
Japan drives on the wrong side of the road, but so does the UK and Australia. Everybody drives on the wrong side of the road but us.
Facts.
Arctic side represent. That just sounds cold.
Ooh, ooh.
Super Canadians can only walk in 45-degree angles.
Let's picture Ash walking to work like that. She's like, I'm sitting this goddamn thing. I gotta stop for some poutine. Getting a cramp.
Oh my gosh. See, you're saying Ash is on the Pacific side. I thought she was on the Pacific side, not on the Atlantic side. But now I'm thinking she's on the Arctic side. So
We've done this for so long now. We're just like, you know, Indian Mountain, North Pacific time. You know, we just make up times. Remember when we used to do that? And now
Yes.
it's like a thing. Like it's in chat right now. So funny.
Hey, here I drive also on what's left of the road. I just
Pretty
drive on
much.
whatever side that I have to avoid falling in huge holes.
Exactly.
No. And Dalia does not live anywhere near me. So just putting that out there. It's not
Well, it
her.
depends on what hole you hit first. You could, can you imagine you hit the wrong pothole, you just end up in Florida and you're like, God dang it. This goddamn forsaken place.
Be like, I know those frosted lips. Dang it.
I know, right?
Let me out of here. It's awful.
Refund, dang it.
She's just up there.
She's just up there. Floating around.
Oh my gosh. Alrighty, well.
Great.
Ash, do you say hoser? I can't. I will say it the most Midwest white American way. Ash, do you say hoser often? Snipe, no. I do say a word I can arse tits a lot. Arsitis? What is
ass tits? That's what I thought you initially said.
Indubitably.
That's not how you spell that, AJ. Just say, no, this is a whole new word that AJ cannot say.
Arse.
Arse. Artiston. Artist tits?
Arse tits?
Arse
Arthritis?
tits? Arthritis?
Induberdabble? That's the replacement right there.
Induberdabble?
Induberdabble. That's the replacement right there.
I almost snorted.
Okay, well.
Gluteus maximus?
We
Arse
are
as
off.
in gluteus maximus? Yes.
Psoriasis? Arthritis?
Psoriasis?
We got psoriasis, arthritis, don't give me artisan, artist, whoever, induberdabbles. Just brag with all your fancy words that you can say that I can't. Am I having a stroke?
stroke?
Yes.
probably definitely having one.
It only happens when I try to say that word right there, and several others. You've heard me talk.
You look at it too long. That's the problem. You're looking at it like
I don't. My brain just is like, don't. There is a stop sign in my head that it's like, don't run it again. You're just gonna embarrass yourself. You're gonna get a ticket.
You're gonna get a ticket.
And then I do. Like, well, we love having you here because you are also the best and you're hilarious. You guys are all hilarious.
Correct.
And
Correct.
make my days so much better. Which you have no doubt how much that has been needed for a while. So you wrote something on stream the other night, forgot what it was. Yeah, that happens like 5 minutes after I say something. I'm like, what did I say? Because I just move on to the next thing in there. It's like, all right. Wait. The trick to learning French is to learn how to roll your R. I thought that was Spanish.
I know how to do it. You teach me, Ash.
Oh, Ash teaches you how to roll your R's? Well,
no, I know how
there's
to roll
a new
my
fantasy for y'all.
Ash didn't teach me nothing about rolling R's. I know all about it.
You can either roll them or you can't.
That's true.
I make your dad jokes better.
Yes. Yeah. Italians
ours don't
Italians roll their R's as well as Spanish people too. And Puerto Rican and Mexican, and they all know how to roll their R's.
You sound like a kitty, Gabby. But that's actually
a rar.
Roll my R's. I can't even do it because I'm trying to do it both in French and Spanish ways. You sound like meow.
Hola, señorita.
Where was Ronnie tonight? She missed the closings and I was sad. It would have made her, she would have been like throwing things.
Oh, she would have, yeah.
She would have been ironing, like angry ironing. Excuse me.
I know she's like she's going to be making like a wedding cake for somebody. So I don't know when that's supposed to happen. So she might be like busy doing that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm sad that she missed that because I was thinking about like, oh my gosh. And when you can roll your R, you can also learn new tricks.
Hashtag facts.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Nope. You'd be amazed at all the words I can say when this is not live. Everything comes back and works just fine.
Well, see, if she had that beer, she would have been rolling her R's all over this goddamn stream. Let me tell you that much.
Yes.
You wanted to see?
Make instruction videos, Ash. I'm so sorry, Ash. I'm so sorry.
We love you. Shame we can call you ass. I swear. That was great. She's dying. She loves it. Look at her.
I'm sorry.
AJ is regretting that one.
100%.
Ass. Excuse me, ass. Wrong. Try again.
I won't. I'm not going to.
You're like, I won't. It's not happening.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Oh my. I think I Oh, laughing in 2 times speed's even better. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, this is way past AJ's bedtime, in her defense.
Seriously, even I'm sober for this one. Yeah, I need to go to bed.
Alright.
I need to go to bed. It would be a beautiful disaster,
Oh,
and you would love it, Bobby.
and if you added Carmen, forget about it.
Well, none of us would get a word in edgewise.
Well, obviously,
You get
she'd be
some
showing us
alcohol
all the dicks that she drew in her notebook.
and you get alcohol into her, and she does not stop talking.
That's true.
Look,
That's true.
she doesn't stop. I love you too, Ash.
Assinator.
I said Ash.
Pedal down.
I did not say that.
Oh my god, my husband just
Yes.
laughed at the same time as us. He can't hear anything I'm saying, but that was
Maybe
funny.
he's secretly watching us and he switches it when you go in the room.
No, he's not.
I know. You said drunk, Carmen, let's do that. No.
No.
Oh, so I can mute Carmen. Nope, she is, that's, in her past. So
Yeah, she's working.
she is working and she does not have time. And that's the worst. Like, especially when something is funny when it shouldn't be funny, and then it makes it even worse. And then you add alcohol on top of that, and you're trying to explain to people what was funny quietly, and you can't because you can't breathe. This hair,
Yeah.
gosh, you
Well,
you
not
can't
just
breathe,
that.
and you can't get it together. Oh, and you can't be quiet because you're drinking.
Well, not just that though, but then you add like a friend on top of it, and you just like play off of each other, and then they
Yes.
start laughing, and then you start laughing, and it makes it so much worse.
I mean, yeah, like when you just have to give that, you just look at each other and you just know. And it's like, it's over. It's over. I like to add a friend on top. Okay.
I almost choked on my liquids that I'm drinking right now. Whew.
Oh my gosh.
Good lord.
All right. Well, hang on one second.
You're just like on that note.
On
Good
that
night.
note, I need to, before I say anything else, period, full stop, before I say anything else.
Heard.
we will be blah, blah, blah. See, we'll be back like Porky freaking Pig on Thursday.
That's all, folks.
Oh my gosh. So you like him on top and you just lay there, Snipe Hunter. Never mind, TMI. That is from Heidel. Don't ask.
My husband is like crying in the other room laughing. I can't believe you can't hear him because it's so ridiculous.
I love it. I mean, just happy that, just think he's as happy as that, but he's actually as happy as that woman yesterday wanted to come across. Like, she wanted to be that happy. He really is.
Yeah, but he's probably just watching, like, I don't know, a
Cartoons.
dog video or something.
Yeah, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like,
I
he's
probably
fine.
have like 40 videos on Reels that I have to watch after this
Yeah,
because
he's gonna be
how
like,
many
"Did you see
times
this?"
he's been laughing. Yeah,
That's my brother. He's like, "Did you see this on Reels?" I'm like, "No, I didn't.
yeah, yeah.
I don't have Reels. I don't have Facebook. I don't know." Like, "Did you see
Anytime.
YouTube short?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, okay.
Shorts are the same as Reels. If you keep scrolling up, it's the same thing.
Yeah, but he's looking on Facebook, I think.
Yeah, they have a lot of the same on YouTube too.
Well, you are welcome, Heidel. I'm glad we can make your day, and because it's your special day, I'm even more happy. What? I once randomly saw the non-word plabby on my best friend's shirt because I was tripping I laughed so hard, I was crying for like 2 hours. I wouldn't have to be tripping. If Gabby
Flabby?
walked up to me in a shirt that said flabby, I would never stop.
AJ, if I ever do that in real life, feel free to just smack me because that would never happen.
Because
And
I will be laughing so hard.
And if you ever see that on me, you have been doused with something against your will because that would never happen. That's hilarious.
I don't care if you were. I hope it said play. It says flabby in my mind.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's another
Gabby
one.
in a
Flabby
shirt
Gabby.
that says flabby.
Yeah, Flabby Gabby.
No. Yes, I'm just saying flabby.
Or the shirt is flabby, but then like I'm wearing it and walking and the shirt is just flabby because AJ's tripping or whoever is tripping or hallucinating or whatever.
Oh my gosh. Wait, what did Snipe do? Oh.
I don't know. He's blasting something at dudes and rackets, and I don't know.
Yeah, everywhere, dude. Even rackets in the cord.
Wow.
Wow.
Sounds pretty serious.
You better be glad she said thanks. Maybe it's like, thanks again, Snipe.
Yeah, right?
It's like, thanks again, Snipe. We won't know until if you're here or not on Thursday.
Flabby says, he annoy. Flabby.
Thy flaps in thy wind. I know it says the.
No, it says thy.
Okay. No.
Never
thy
mind.
In the wind.
There's no.
In the wind.
Oh, I totally didn't even see the. I was like, there's no the. I'm like, where are you seeing the? I'm like, that says thy. There's a the in there.
Is it thy flaps or thigh flaps?
That's a good question, actually.
It would vary from person to person.
Would have been funnier if my best friend's name was Gabby.
It was Gabby, but her name was Jenny.
Jenny. It was like peas and carrots. She taught me.
Run, Forrest, run.
She taught me how to swing. I taught her how to dangle.
Plenty. Her name was Plenty.
Plenty.
Plenty. Oh, your sister's.
The bus.
Is it Jenny or Plenty? One of those is going to make me feel bad.
None of them are going to make me feel bad because I have no idea what's going on right now.
Plenty O'Toole.
I just keep thinking of the bus scene. When Forrest Gump gets on the bus as a little kid, and he first meets Jenny, and the kids are like, you can't sit here. Can't sit here. And then she goes, you can sit here if you want to.
Penny.
Penny. Plenty Flabby. Is it Plenty or Flabby?
Is it Pam or Pan? I don't know.
Is it Pan? Are you saying Pan or Pam?
Pam.
Or Pan Plam? Is it Plam? Or Panned?
Yep, that's my Jenny. Okay. I don't.
Planny, Plabby, Penny, Pammy.
Pammy.
That is quite the tongue twister. Jenny Penny, JC Penny.
JC. Aw. Her middle name was Candace. Her initials were JC Penny.
Jenny Candace Penny. Daisy Penny.
Pam has a dirty clam? Wow.
Oh, Jesus. Someone get her a washcloth, for goodness sake.
Somebody go get her one of those spa days so she can sit over a pot of steam.
She can have a steam
that
for goodness sake.
Stuff up.
It can be drip dried clean. Good Lord. She
mean,
was still her bucket
on.
anyway.
JCP. JCP. Ew, her clam is full of spam.
I don't like spam.
Ugh. But I don't like spam.
Spam, clams, eggs, and spam.
Steam the clam so Pam can do the bam.
Clam spam?
No, gross. That's even worse. You forgot wobble.
Oh, God.
Give me all the damn clam spam. No.
Oh,
All right,
my God, that was great.
You forgot wobble? Wait, what?
Who forgot what?
Wobble.
Oh, was it Bobby who said, he said, pleeble, plabble, wobble, beeble?
No, he said pleeble, plabble, wibble, dibble.
Oh. Spam, 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 spam. And spam.
Down, all good things must come to an end. Such as this stream.
Correct.
Flabby sounds like an annoying weeble wobble, but she won't fall down. Maybe that's what makes her annoying.
You just said that in with no duress. Like you just knew for a fact. She's never gonna fall down.
They don't fall down. Oh my gosh. Whippity woppity timey wimey? Wibbledy wobbledy timey wimey. Bippity boppity boo.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
What was that song?
Yeah, bippity boppity boo.
Weebles wobbles, but they won't. Weebles wobble, but they won't fall down.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
I don't know. I know the words, but I don't remember the tune. They still spill all the water out of the cup, though.
Rude.
You have to keep going. You have an audience. I won't for long.
Yeah, because you're gonna hit end stream.
Oh my gosh. I usually don't fall down either, but I sure stumble hilariously for a while. Yeah. A Weeble Wobble cups.
Yeah, I remember the Weeble
Bed
Wobble
knobs
cups.
and broomsticks.
That's a good movie. It's an old school movie. You tagged me in what?
Like a month ago. If it's in Discord, good luck.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not. You gotta retag me because I'm not going to look for back a month ago. Good luck, Bobby.
Yeah, better redo it. Okay, Pedaltown. Good luck. See you on Thursday. Hope you get a cute nurse. I hope she doesn't switch out for an ugly nurse when you're out and under. They're like, okay, he's out. And
He just has some random gnome come in, just looking all up in there.
He wakes up, he's like, dang, I thought Snow White was in here. No, just me. So, we will see you Thursday, Paddletown. Excuse me. Mopeds? Is that what's up in there?
What the hell? Oh my god. You're a random gnome. No, real motorcycle, stop moped.
You are a random gnome. Moan. Don't be a random moan either. That's weird.
Be a random moan.
Hope the nurse isn't named Jeff. Jeff? What's wrong with Jeff?
Poor Jeff.
What's wrong with old Jeff? What'd Jeff ever do?
Hopefully he's creamy Jeff and not crunchy Jeff.
True. True. I'm trying to. I was going to make that joke, but if anybody's name is in here, is that I didn't want to say it. When Brandon very first saw that name like that, I don't know how old he was.
My name is Jeff.
He was in, he was either, I think he maybe middle school. And so this guy was helping us. We were getting phones. But Brandon and I had walked away to look at phone cases or whatever. And Brandon comes over to me and he's like, hey, do you think Geoff would, I'm like, what? He's like, Geoff. I'm like, who's Geoff? And he's like, the guy that's helping us. And I'm like, you mean Jeff? So that has been a thing. And then over by where they live, they had the crappiest neighbor. He was so just a disgusting human being. I don't know
What
where
was
he is
his
now.
name? Aaron?
No, that would have been better. But his name was Jeff, and it was spelled Geoff. So we all called him Geoff because we couldn't stand him. And never to his face because we didn't talk to him. Oh, he was horrible. He's despicable. Like, they're the most miserable human beings ever. I feel so sorry for whoever they live by now because everywhere they go, it's just a path of destruction. They're just nasty people. And, but his name's Geoff. So we got everybody over there calling him Geoff. So I'm sure somebody accidentally did.
Geoff?
Geoff would be the result of a crappy namer. Yes. So if anybody's name in here is Geoff and you are not the Geoff I'm talking about, my apologies. If you are the Geoff I'm talking about, you can F off. So
You can get bent.
Absolutely. Like,
kick rocks.
In all different directions. And none of it's good. Because they're just despicable people. Horrible, horrible. But anyways.
Okay. I gotta go now.
Yeah, me too. I'm a crappy namer. This is why I let other people pick name. Geoff, get off. Get off, Geoff. Okay. No, not like that. Just get off. The other Geoff can Geoff. That's right. The other Geoff was cool. The OG Geoff was funny. It was even funny. And Brandon was just so happy that he said his name to me first and not him, which would have been hilarious. I'm sure not the first time that he was a kid, college kid, had heard that. So, but, funny anyway. All right. I'm landing the plane, as Heidel would say. Playing the outro.
Land the plane. Land the plane.
6 p.m. Thursday. We're going to send this bish off.
This bish.
Never to return.
We're going to send this plane G off. Oh!
That's right. It ain't going north side.
Pacific Antarctic time.
I can't help where she lands her plane. I'm just trying to land mine. And I'm sucking at it again. All right. Say bye, Gabby.
Bye.
Bye.
Hot mannequin love is kinda uncanny. Click, like, subscribe, ooh, piece of candy. Looking for my spotlight, chasing my vibe. Still looking for my credibility online. Ooh, hot mannequin love, candy on the floor, don't pick it up. Chasing all the clicks, chasing all the views. Credibility's hiding, but I'm bringing you the news. show with me. Laughs and chaos, that's how we roll. Drop a comment down below before you go. Every little scroll is a mystery, but you stuck around, watch the show with me. Laughs and chaos, that's how we roll. Drop a comment down below before you go.